Welcome to Action Dice, where we play Marvel's Multiverse role-playing game and take you to where the action is. I'm Copy, and I'll be your narrator for this spectacular, dare I say amazing, encounter. And with me, as always, is my faithful sidekick, Paste.
Sidekick? I much prefer Action Buddy. Today, I am very excited because it's my chance to finally play the spectacular Spider-Man. Science whiz and freelance photographer by day, wisecracking web-slinging hero by night. Peter Parker is your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, armed with super agility, wall-crawling skills, and enough bad puns to make a statue groan. Teaming up with Spider-Man today is one of my favorite all-time X-Men, Iceman. With a sharp wit and a frosty sense of humor, Bobby Drake is the X-Men's resident master of all things cool. As one of the original X-Men, he's been chilling villains since day one with his pyrokinetic powers, which let him create ice slides, freeze enemies solid, and gives bad guys the cold shoulder.
It's a classic Sunday morning cartoon special with Spidey and friends. But it wouldn't be a Spider-Man encounter without the usual suspects, including a particularly perturbed, tentacled physician looking for an upgrade, symbiote style. And with that, let's roll some dice. Ready?
Set. Action.
Another blistering day bakes Midtown Manhattan with record-shattering heat, turning the city into an urban furnace. Sunlight ricochets off glass and steel, while the pavement sizzles beneath every step, radiating heat like an open oven door. The air is a soupy, suffocating wall of humidity, thick enough to chew. The entire city swelters, sluggish and beaten down by the blaze. Everyone, that is, except for two.
Two figures walking down one of New York's busy streets don't seem to be feeling the heat that much at all, really. Which is fairly peculiar since one of them is covered in blue fur, and the other one just radiates pretty chill vibes. Why don't we pick it up from there?
It's such a hot day, I wouldn't be bothering Bobby Drake all that much, aka Iceman, because he probably wouldn't be in his iced up form, but he'd be controlling the moisture around the air and just kind of cooling it down. Probably put a little snowfall on Hank McCoy, who the gentleman he's walking down the street with, aka the Beast. I don't know if Beast would be in blue fur right now, or probably have his classic trench coat with a fedora on. As he tends to when he's walking downtown, kind of to be a little more
discreet.
A little more discreet, yeah. But either way, Bobby's keeping them both pretty chill, pretty cool. Bobby, again, not iced up, but just in his regular civilian attire. Right. Definitely in there, his shorts, flip-flops, kind of, just cool vibes there, yeah. Maybe with Hawaiian shirt and just
keeping it chill.
Keeping it chill, yeah. So they're walking up the street. They had just actually left an old school theater. We're talking like classic projection
reels, reel-to-reel projectors.
Yeah, with a classic reel-to-reel projector, exactly. Yeah, with the little cigarette burns in the top corners there. A matinee, it's probably midday. These two have been friends for so long. They've just been kind of like walking a little bit in silence, just the comfortable silence that two friends can be in without feeling the pressure or the need to fill the dead air with idle chatter or anything like that. So yeah, they're just kind of digesting the movie that they took in.
Yeah, which movie was that?
The original Aliens movie. It would have been one of Beast's favorites, and Bobby actually hadn't seen it yet. So Bobby, that was kind of the trick to get Beast out of the house. It's like, come on, let's go watch one of your old your favorite movies.
Oh yeah? Why is that? Beast feeling a little down?
No, Beast has been cooped up in his lab for a little too long, and Bobby wants to get him out and show him what sunshine actually feels like again. So they've left the mansion. Hank McCoy, the Beast, acquiesced, and so they went to go see one of his favorite movies, it being Alien. Bobby had not seen the movie before. It's his first time. So when Bobby does finally break the silence as they're walking down the street, he's like, okay, first point of order, Sigourney Weaver, national treasure. Second point of order, face suckers are the creepiest things on the planet. I don't know who came up with that idea, but that is just, Now, I think Beast had plans to go to the bank.
As you say, Beast and Bobby are walking down the street towards the bank. And Beast, of course, mentions to Bobby as he says, "Well, I am aware of the ability to do your e-transfer. I much prefer the tactile transaction of exchanging currency at the bank, instead of sending my money through the ephemeral and ethereal data transaction."
You're the type of guy that still has a checkbook, aren't you, Hank?
No, nothing that mundane. Like most cautious creatures, I do prefer to store my precious possessions within a vault. By the time that he mentions vault, you actually see Hank sort of go a little more erect and stand up. And as soon as he says the word vault, he trails off and he says, "Bobby, you might want to step over here." And he uses one of his large pawed hands to move Bobby just a few inches to the left. As at that particular moment, you hear ringing alarm bells and the crunching and smashing of brick and mortar and glass, as all of a sudden, a huge form of the Juggernaut smashing right out of the bank.
Awesome.
And as you see this hulking figure of the Juggernaut smashing through the wall of the bank, not even bothering to use the door, because why would he? He's hauling behind himself a large vault's worth of gold bars, which he's just got heft on his shoulder there, holding like a waiter holding a platter. But we'll just have that sort of on him nearby. So as he smashes through the bank, just throwing debris right onto the street, he just keeps going in a forward motion, smashing into one of the vehicles directly in front of him, sending it skittering away right into the intersection, where other vehicles skid to a halt. We also have a large oil tanker skittering through the intersection as well, narrowly missing one of those pedestrians it was trying to avoid, smashing into a car and flipping on its side. And as all this is going on, we actually switch back to another character just a little ways back in time, just a little ways outside of the area. Swinging through the city, we've got the spectacular Spider-Man. Like you said, he is going to be web-slinging through the city, I guess just before all this goes down. He's just actually leaving the Daily Bugle. I believe at this time he's probably just in college right now. He's trying to make up some extra cash by freelancing photography. And he was just at the Daily Bugle trying to sell some of his shots. Most recently, he was taking shots of Spider-Man fighting the Rhino and the Red Hulk, I think, downtown Manhattan not too long ago. Classic.
But unfortunately, most of these shots didn't really come out. They were a little blurry or they were just out of frame. And it turned out that Eddie Brock ended up getting the front page of that one. So he's a little bummed out that his photos didn't get picked for front page, and but some of his shots got picked for like page 3 or whatever. So he got a little bit of money, not as much as he was hoping for. So you might have to get a little creative for a date night with MJ. But yeah, so he's just kind of like shaking it off, trying to clear his head a little bit, trying to do what he does best, do what he loves, and just kind of like do a little parkour action as he's swinging through the Manhattan skyline there.
As he's swinging by, he shoots out one of his webs and then gets that sensation, that tingle that he often gets, and he knows something dangerous is about to occur. And sure enough, as his spider sense is going off, he gets an aerial view as he agilely just soars through the air, landing on one of the nearby buildings. Hears the alarms going off from the bank, and then sees the commotion of the intersection of one of the downtown streets. So not very far off.
As he's swinging in, he lands on one of the nearby roof of the nearby building and quickly pulls out his camera and then just kind of webs to the side real quick and discreetly and kind of sets it ready to take just a bunch of random shots for the next few minutes and angled it right down to the center of the street. There were all the motions. And then he flips off of the building and lands right on top of the Oscorp truck. Oh, hero style, boom, ready to be like, hey, I know the banks are getting better with quick withdrawals, but I think you're taking this a little far, big guy.
And as for Spidey style, he just lands right in the middle of things and starts throwing off quick quips. But just to address the scene a little bit more, we'll have some debris thrown out there, and of course onto the road as he's smashed right out of the building. Juggernaut's got his gold and he's trying to get gone, so he keeps moving. He may have seen the heroes there and he may have heard Spider-Man's scathing quip, but no, he's the unstoppable Juggernaut and he's not going to be stopped. So he just keeps moving straight forward, smashes into those vehicles, As he's doing that, though, I'll give each hero sort of an action as well before we really get into it.
Nice. Okay.
So which hero do you want to sort of react first as you see the Juggernaut charging through?
Right. Yeah, I think Spider-Man might be the closest, and so he'll probably be reacting fastest. He's probably the faster one on the field here. So almost as soon as he lands down, throws his scathing quip, and sees Juggernaut charging up the street and not stopping, he's quickly assessing the area. Right. And he's seeing like, I guess there's that pedestrian still in that SUV that got knocked when you first charged out, right?
Yep, there's definitely a driver in there for sure. There's a driver in the tanker. There's a pedestrian that just narrowly got hit by the tanker and he's fallen down on his heels there, or fallen down on his rear.
So in that case, then maybe the driver's side window of the SUV got smashed when he got hit. So Spider-Man's got a clear view of the guy inside who's been in vain trying to like get this broken dented door open.
Yeah,
so he quickly
belt off.
I can't see, but he's panicking. He's trying to get out.
Okay.
And Spider-Man will help him get out. So he's going to shoot a web line over at him, grab him right in the chest. And he's like, what? And then Spider-Man yeets him right out of the floor. Okay. Flies right towards him. He grabs him midair and puts him up on his shoulder.
All right, we'll get a guy over there for him. All right.
And Spider-Man's got Mighty 1, so he can at least carry 2 people without being slowed down. So I think he'll probably look in through the window of the Oscorp truck.
Right.
And just kind of maybe...
Yeah, he'll see the driver in there sort of looking dazed and cut up. He's on his side and he's injured and he's not really moving very quickly.
Well, if I can get a shot at him, or maybe I'll just use the sticky part of my toe to kind of like grab the door and just lift it open or something like that, and then just kind of shoot my free arm in there and grab him with web line, just kind of... kind of yo-yo him or yoink him out of there too. Grab him while he's in midair. So now I've got 2 people on me.
All right, let's see if we got another. Okay, well, sure, we'll put this guy over there as well. Okay. All right, so now you've got 2 people.
So I guess I'd be at half speed at this time. So he'll take what he can get, and he's going to try to web sling out of here with them. So as vicariously as he can with 2 guys on his shoulders, just going to shoot out 2 webs onto maybe the post office building and just kind of pull himself towards the post office building with the 2 civilians on his shoulders.
Okay, so he's taking the two guys that he just...
Yeah, and it'd be at half speed, so he's got a web line speed of 19...
There we go. All right, so with these 2 guys, he's going to swing right over here.
Yeah.
But half web speed.
Yeah, so he's got
web... just going to put these guys...
Yeah, just put them down.
Put them on their feet and away from the danger.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great.
So to clarify, his web line sling is actually 18, so half of that would be 9 spaces.
Oh yeah, so that would got a few other heroes on scene. So what are they doing?
So Bobby then I think would be the next one to react. He generally is a pretty cool-headed guy, but when he sees someone as big as the Juggernaut smashing through the bank, he probably has a knee-jerk reaction of trying to just put up a barrier in front of him. So he'll use his elemental barrier, his ice wall, and try to form it just right in front of him to maybe just try to stop him or slow him down, or maybe obscure his vision a little bit.
Is this like an ice barrier?
The ice barrier, like the ice wall, the ice barrier. Yeah, it's one of his.
So where do you see powers? Like just like that? You think?
Yeah, just kind of forming. Just an ice wall / barrier. Whatever works for you. Yeah, you can put it right in front of the car. Yeah, that works for me. So Bobby would move up naturally closer to him, but the ice barrier does have quite a bit of range.
Okay.
But still, yeah, he's going to get onto the heels of Juggernaut there.
For flavor, does he ice on, or does he just like go full Iceman?
Of course, definitely. As soon as he sees Juggernaut smash through the wall, he's by natural instinct or reaction, he just fully goes into ice form. As he's forming that barrier from him, he's also forming his ice slide, and he's just gliding up right behind. Well, not too close behind the Juggernaut, but he's staying on his heels. Yes.
Okay. Do you like that distance, or do you think he'd get a little closer?
No, I think that's totally fine. Yeah, he's a ranged combatant, so that's good.
All right. So what the Beast is going to do, aside from saying his classic line, "Oh my stars and garters," he's going to follow the superhero's leads, try to get some civilians out of the way of the rampaging Juggernaut. He'll take 2 bounding leaps here, and then he'll get to the vehicle that's closest to the Oscorp, and he will investigate to see if somebody is in there. And indeed, he sees the driver. Luckily, it's only the driver, so he's able to get through to the door, open it up, and rescue one of the civilians. And unfortunately, that's as far as he can go with his movement. So he took 2 bounding leaps, so that was an action plus another run action to get over there, but with enough to interact with the door and assist the injured driver out of the door. And he's just going to hold on to her and protect her, and hopefully, if he's got enough time, get her out of harm's way. So that will be his move and action. So with all of that, and the heroes have had a chance to sort of react to the Juggernaut's presence on scene, let's roll for initiative.
All right.
We will have our bonus round. We'll have Spider-Man start off first.
So yeah, kind of following up immediately with his first initial action to webline over to the post office. He's going to then see the other civilian knocked on his heels there close by the Oscorp vehicle and quickly shoot a web line on his back and maybe just like pull him over to where Spider-Man is, away from the Oscorp vehicle.
Okay.
Not knowing what kind of crazy contents are in there.
Back here. Okay.
Yeah. And just places him there. So I guess that would be his action to pull.
Yeah, it's a web line.
Yeah. I think the goal now, because I have no idea how we're going to stop the unstoppable Juggernaut, I think the goal now is to try to get the gold at least away from this guy, or maybe let me ask you this. Is there any other civilians around that look like they're in peril or in danger?
I mean, there's people on the sidelines, yes, but there's also, I hate to say it, I mean, there are drivers for all of these vehicles. There's a taxi cab.
Yeah, I might honestly just jump in front of the taxi cab and get my hands on it and be like, whoa, boy, this one's not for you. And we get ready, maybe just like, if I can, and maybe we'll get liberal reactions here. Maybe I can just kind of lift that taxi cab out of the way or something.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to just be there, and
it's kind of dangerous to put myself right in front of an unstoppable Juggernaut, but hey, Spider-Man plays fast and loose.
Exactly. If you just want to be there and ready to get that taxi cab filled with occupants out of the way, Spider-Man's got the strength to help with that.
Okay. Awesome.
So if it comes to it, you can use your reaction to lift the vehicle out of the way. We're going to try to.
Awesome. Yeah. I don't know if it's an official reaction, but yeah, if you're cool with it, I'm cool with it.
we can.
Let's be heroic with it.
Yeah. That's Spider-Man's move in action. All right. Next up, because he rolled a 17, which is a little bit higher than Beast, it is actually the Juggernaut who's going to react. As I said, the Juggernaut is just on his way with the gold. And he's looking to get out of here. It's kind of tricky because he's just going to go right through that ice barrier, but at the same time, his goal was to just sort of smash through the vehicle as well. So it's a good thing Spider-Man did arrive there, because that's sort of where he was going. Now, we'll see how we can get through this. He is going to do a ram attack, but he's just Juggernaut. He's just going to keep going straight through. So we're going to call it a ram attack, I guess, with the target being the ice block.
The ice barrier, yeah.
Ice barrier.
So that would have a target number of equal to Bobby's ego defense, which is 16.
Oh, okay. Anyways, we got 4 on the Marvel, a 3 and a 3. So what do we have? We've got 10 plus 7 is 17. So 17 hits.
Yeah, 17 hits. You only need to get a 16.
It's a 4 on the Marvel die. So that's going to be 4 times 8, which we all know is 32 points of damage.
32 points of damage, yeah. All you need to do is actually 10 points of damage to smash through that ice barrier.
Okay.
But anybody behind the ice barrier won't take any damage.
Well, that's good. But he's also on his way through going to smash into this vehicle as well. Does Spider-Man want to use his reaction?
Yeah, he'll definitely try to use his reaction, and thank you for letting us be liberal with it. So he'll do his super heroics.
Smashing through that.
He's going to enlist the help of his good friend Bobby. So he's going to grab the front of the car and just kind of pick it up over his head and just kind of toss it up in the air as best he can with his spider might and yell, "Hey, Bobby, ice slide!" And then Bobby will use his reaction as well too, if you allow it.
Let's start with the flip. What are we going to use? He's mighty, so we're going to have to use strength. But give me a strength action check.
Combat check. Okay. 9, 10, 11, 16.
Yeah, I think with that 16, it'll be just enough to get it up and over the Juggernaut as he charges through and just squeezes past the Spider-Man there.
Bobby will use his reaction to put an ice slide underneath that thing, so it'll actually slide comfortably back down and away from
and it's just going to slide right down there. Awesome. Okay, so both of you used reactions to do that. Excellent. Okay, Juggernaut was doing a ram attack at that time, so he is actually going to move a little bit more,
Right.
because of his move and then his action to ram through again.
Oh, I don't like where he's headed.
So we're still in the bonus round. We've got Hank McCoy to go. Beast is going to follow up on his initial reaction to get the civilians out of the way. So he sees that he's got a hold of the one pedestrian there. He's going to then move her out of the way of the blast range, bring her over here. So he's going to drop off that New Yorker on the sidewalk there. He's going to see Juggernaut's continued rampage, just smashing through the ice barrier created by Bobby, not even slowing down, barely even flinching at any of this. Just going right through the cars, heading straight towards a building. So he's still got an action, but there's nothing really he could do to interact to stop that Juggernaut. So he's going to see Bobby there sort of on his way. I think he's going to use Inspiration, and he's going to target Bobby with that.
Nice.
Failure is the condiment that gives success its flavor. So he'll inspire Bobby, and that will give him an edge on his next action.
He's inspired, and now he's hungry.
So that then is going to bring us back to, I think Spider-Man's going to start us off for our actual first round.
Right. Yeah, Spider-Man doesn't like where Juggernaut is headed, but he wants to get his attention and kind of redirect him. So the best way he knows how to do that, I think, because his goal is apparently to get out of here with his gold, but I don't think he's going to want to leave without the gold. So Spider-Man wants to get the gold away from Juggernaut.
Okay, all right.
So I think if he'll allow it, maybe he'll get a little bit of distance, maybe leap back onto the top of the SUV, web up.
Yeah.
So backflip up there on top of the SUV.
Okay.
Shoot his webs at his gold that the Juggernaut's still carrying, waiter style, to his fingers there, and just pull the gold back. I'll try to get it out of his grip.
Yeah, so we're going to say it's going to be like a disarm. There wouldn't be any trouble with that.
No trouble? Okay, fair enough. I mean, even with trouble, I don't know if Spider-Man would have a hard time with it, but hey, cool. I'll take no trouble. 2 6s and a 3 on the Marvel die. So 15 plus 7 is a 22, so I'm pretty sure I beat his agility, yeah?
22.
Yeah.
Definitely grabs onto that crate and
just pulls it. Oh, it's heavy, so I don't think you can pull it back far. I maybe only build a space, I think. It only drops probably a space away from him, but it's enough to grab it and disarm it and just drop it one space next to the Juggernaut there.
Great move. With a huge crushing sound, like the asphalt just cracking and smashing under the weight of all these gold bricks. He just almost sinks right into the asphalt of the street.
Yeah, maybe sure. It's like, let me take that load off you, big guy.
Okay, so that's movement in action.
Yeah, I think he's going to hold there.
So it's Juggernaut's turn, and not much can stop the Juggernaut, but noticing that his gold has now been snatched out of his hands, he's going to come to a crushing halt and just asphalt digging into his heels, just digging right into the ground on the asphalt as he just stops his momentum completely. And for the first time, really kind of takes notice of what's going on there. He's like, "Ugh, you pests! Go get your own gold." And yeah, he'll just start stomping right back. And how does disarm work? He would have to use the action to pick it up, obviously.
Yes, you're right. It will now cost him an action to pick up the gold again when he's been disarmed from it. Yes.
Yeah. So he's going to move back over that, and he definitely wants that gold. So that's great. So you've slowed him down. So he will now have to use his action to heft that back up, put it on his shoulder again. Considering the movement, stop, move back, it's probably all that he's got so far. So done a great job of distracting him. But yeah, now he's moved back. You've halted him, which is amazing enough. And now he's just lifted those gold bars back up over his shoulder. And he's now turning to continue to march away.
Escape out of here, right? So,
yeah.
Okay.
Now he's not interested in a fight, it seems. He just wants his gold and get gone.
All right. So Iceman's up next. Yeah, he's tangled with the Juggernaut before. Even with the 3 of these mighty heroes here, he knows that they're probably not enough to defeat Juggernaut. Maybe they can slow him down a little bit, but I don't know. So Bobby's going to say, "Hank, I don't think the 3 of us can stop him. Should we call in reinforcements?" I don't know if our friends at the X-Mansion are too far away, if they can not get here in time, or as Hank, as an ex-Avenger, might have some contacts he can web up quick. But anyways, he's going to shout that out, but that'll be a part of his turn. He's going to ice slides probably a little bit closer to Juggernaut.
All right.
And seeing how taking the gold off of Juggernaut seemed to be enough to slow him down and turn him around, He's going to ice slide a little bit further, as far as he can go in front of the Juggernaut, but not directly in front of his path, just off to the side a little bit.
Okay, all right.
So can we shift him a little bit more to the side? Because I still want to be in Juggernaut's direct path.
Okay.
So a little bit more closer to the tree. Yeah. Just so he's not directly in line with the Juggernaut. And then with a shot at the gold that's right above his shoulder, he's going to shoot a beam of ice that will hopefully knock the gold bars back off of the big brute, and again have it fall down onto the ground behind him. And like, well, it worked for Spidey. Hopefully it'll work for me too. Probably shout to him like, dude, if you haven't heard from the police yet, allow me. Freeze!
Hoping these ice puns would get in here somehow. All right, okay, but we're going to do this one with trouble only because Juggernaut's kind of more protecting it now. He's kind of holding on to it more tightly, and he's just sort of putting his body in front of it this time. So,
okay, but with Hank's inspiration, I've got an edge, so I guess those two will balance out. So this should be a straight roll, right?
That's true. That's true. All right, so this should be a straight roll.
Straight roll. Oh boy, and not amazing. 8 plus 5 is 13, right?
Okay. Yeah, and his agility defense is not great, so it's 11.
I imagine maybe he slicks it up with the ice a little bit, maybe try to get under his, where he's kind of grabbing onto it. Maybe he can slick some of the ice around his hand, make it a little bit slippery, less surface tension for him to grab onto. And with the force of the blast of his ice, is able to slip it out off his shoulder, out of his hand, and just knock it behind the Juggernaut again. So the gold bars will again, hopefully we're not doing much damage to them, but hit the asphalt one more time.
Just onto the ground, and why not? With that blast of ice, it just sort of ices it right up.
There we go.
Just puts a big ice barrier right on top of
Add
it.
a little more weight to it. Pretty slick, eh?
So with that blast, he's got it again, knocked the blocks right off of Juggernaut, and put a nice little shining ice barrier right over top too. But now the Juggernaut's looking pretty angry. I gotta say that for sure. So after Iceman, I believe the next to act, Beast. Yeah, so hearing Bobby shout out saying, hey, looking for reinforcements, definitely seeing that if we have to go toe-to-toe to the Juggernaut, we're definitely gonna need some heavy reinforcements. Hank, knowing the current state, who may be able to assist in a quick fashion, does pull a device out from his pocket. And as he does that, he says, to quote Sun Tzu, "The supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting." I think I may know who to call.
Hank McCoy being coy about this?
He indeed is. But what's he going to do on his turn? So I think what he's going to do is just make sure, we've got a truck with fluids and some people still potentially in a blast area. He's going to just try to protect the area a bit more, and he's just going to usher and grab some of these people and just move them away from what may be a blast zone. And again, he'll just grab this person by the foot and a couple by the hands, and he'll just help them along and move them out of the way. Yeah, and he'll do a parkour flip over here.
Oh, cool.
Absolutely, yes. We must remember to tune our wounds into wisdom. Yeah, unfortunately, he's not going to be much more help than that. Just trying to clear the area, seeing that there's still an exposed hazard there from the Oscorp truck.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So that's the end of round 1. That'll bring us right back to top of round 2, and we've got Spider-Man.
Okay, noticing that the gold bricks are now out of the grip of this incredibly strong Juggernaut, so I might actually leap off the SUV and move a few spaces back towards the yellow taxi cab.
Okay.
I'm hoping people got out of the taxi cab by now.
Well, after the ice slide, they were like, "Whee!"
Yeah.
Again. No, you're absolutely right. I think would have gotten out of the cab.
Okay, bailed out.
Yeah, it's now an empty cab.
So then he's going to shoot 2 webs at the gold bars there, and with a web grab, and then when he gets a grab of it, let's see if we actually do grab it.
Let's roll for that, for sure.
Yeah. Not amazing, but I still think it's high enough. 11 plus 7 is 18.
Yeah, because he did do an action to web it. So now his strength is part of that action is to pull it.
Pull over, yeah. So can he, now that he's grabbed it, you may actually have to wait till his next turn to pull it over for him? But we are trying to move an object, so maybe we'll just take his movement action
Okay.
as part of the cost
Well,
for that cost.
Yeah, so he's going to web it up, but I mean that's not a big deal for Spider-Man. He's going to hit it, right?
Yeah.
It does gain purchase even though it's got a sheet of ice on it. But yeah, and so he's going to dig his heels into the vehicle and use his movement action to actually try to pull those bricks of gold, bars. Yeah. So so we rolled for that and.
Right. So yeah, good call. So we'll flip back up on the card, we undo the move, and then you use the movement action to pull over those gold bricks.
So what do you roll for that?
Well, I got to roll a trouble roll. So I rolled 3 6s.
Oh.
But we rolled a marble into a 4.
Sixes.
So that should still be plenty.
All right. Well, what's our total?
16 plus 5, 21.
21. Wow. That is a mighty Spidey.
And maybe
right
even Iceman can put a sheet of ice on the ground a little bit, or freeze up the ground so maybe it's easier for him to pull and slide.
Sure, yeah, the sheet of ice does help make it slide. So we're going to bring that right back over to Spidey. All right. If he thinks that's all he can do.
That would be, his movement and his action. That's it.
Okay. So that's going to bring us to Juggernaut. The gold just gets knocked out of his hands again, covered in ice, and then just pulled right away from out of his grasp. So once again, his movement comes to a stop. He turns around and he's like, "Get your sticky fingers off my gold!" So as he moves right up, he's going to just do a big smash attack right on Spider-Man. So the total is 18.
18 only?
18 only. 18. That's not bad.
Well, my defense score is 19.
Darn.
So with lightning quick spider-like reflexes,
dodges right out of the way as Spider-Man does. And the two big meaty Juggernaut type fists just smash right into this vehicle. And for flavor, we're just going to have this thing just destroy right over here. Yeah. So he's just on a flattened piece of vehicle right now with the Juggernaut just smashing into it. Luckily, however, Spider-Man did get the occupant of the vehicle out.
Now that he missed an attack, I wonder if I want to use a reaction to do my signature wisecracker. Boy, does someone need his diaper changed? Throwing a tantrum like that. Come on, Juggy. This is why we can't have nice things. Boy, I hope that guy's insured. Rolling. Is an ego. 10 plus his ego. I don't know what your ego defense is.
Things like that just sort of roll off of Juggernaut's back. And with his ego defense of 11.
Oh, man.
Well, the scathing retort doesn't quite sting as much because Juggernaut would always broke his toys as a kid. So, yeah. But good try.
Okay.
So after Juggernaut, that's his movement, that's his action. Yeah, he's just going to be standing nearby that object of his desire, the gold bricks. And that's it for him. So next, after Juggernaut, we have Bobby Drake. What's Iceman going to do?
Okay. Yeah, seeing Juggernaut throw that tantrum, he's like, boy, someone's got to cool down over there. And he's going to try to ice him up by capturing him in an ice cage. Let's try to put this guy behind icy bars.
Put him on ice.
Let's put him on ice. Pick a point within line of sight. Okay, once formed, and make an ego check and compare the result against the agility defense of the targets.
Okay, not a problem.
Ego equal, whoa! I literally rolled the worst you can roll.
Well, you've got teammates.
I'm probably gonna need some help here.
All right.
Well, let's see what a 4 plus.
A 4?
I rolled a 4.
Oh, man.
A 4 plus.
It must be the heat.
No, 4 plus 6, that's 10, right?
Yeah.
And ego defense is 11? No, agility.
Agility is 11.
Spider-Man and Bobby are good friends. So when he sees Bobby trying to encase this guy with his elemental ice and form a prison around it, he sees that it's probably not holding. Juggernaut's kind of bashing against it as it's forming up and it's starting to crack and not doing the trick. So Spider-Man's going to help out by throwing a few webs on some of the weak parts and kind of gluing the ice and reinforcing the ice as it's forming around him.
All right,
and,
sounds good.
Use the help teammate action.
Okay.
And we're going to roll this Marvel die. Into a 2!
Oh, I mean, you can spend a karma. Yeah, you can spend 1 karma on...
I'm going to have to spend a karma because, my God. Okay, so that didn't work, but let's see if luck can...
Finally force these pieces together.
Okay, turned it into a 6.
All right. So beats his agility defense. So what happens? With the help of Spider-Man and some good karma,
luck,
we've got some ice forming around the Juggernaut as a shield, as a...
no, it's more of a prison of ice, yeah. So he just kind of gets encased in this kind of like sheathing of ice that forms around him and over his head and stuff like that too. Like,
Okay, so
I
he's
mean,
encased in a block of ice.
you can flavor it with bars if you want to, yeah, but essentially
Sure.
he's trapped behind this barrier of ice.
Does he get to use a reaction to escape? Well, he's not grabbed,
against.
pinned, or paralyzed, so that would be the trigger.
No, so he wouldn't be. He's just basically he's behind a barrier. Right
Okay.
now. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so the barrier holds, especially with Spider-Man sort of webbing it up as well, which is a great teamwork effort. But it also need a little bit of luck on their side to get the Juggernaut.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to break through it and started bending at horrible angles, and it looked like it was going to crack, but the webbing held and the ice kind of reformed just well enough, and now it looks like, yeah, it's a solid cage.
Okay, excellent.
I guess with a little bit of movement, he's going to get in front of the civilians beside the post office there.
Yep.
Just in case he needs to put up an ice shield or an ice barrier to protect from any explosions or anything.
Nice.
Like
So
that.
he
Maybe
just
gets
slides.
a little closer to the civilians there.
Okay,
Yeah.
just slides right in front of him.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So we've got the Juggernaut, the unstoppable Juggernaut, just sealed into a cage of ice for now.
For now.
Okay, so that brings us back to Beast to finish off round 2. Now that he's got the civilians out of the way, he's going to move and get a better line of sight of what's going on there. He was about to pick up some debris and see if he can sort of distract the Juggernaut, but now seeing that he's all caged and webbed up, he's going to address his comrades and friends and say something incredibly smart and witty in form of inspiration.
Awesome.
Actually, no one's hurt, right? Nobody's taken any damage or anything.
Surprisingly, no.
Yeah, you'd
Can I
wonder.
fight with the Juggernaut? No one's taking damage.
Amazing. Right, so he's going to say to his friends Spider-Man and Bobby, as he walks over and sees the Juggernaut just encased in ice and webs, and he's going to say, "If you can't do great things, do small things greatly." Yeah, I guess he'll try to inspire. I guess Spider-Man will come up next, so he's going to try to inspire Spider-Man with those words. Not much else he can do at the moment, but he does sort of check his device, and he gets a reading on it, actually, so that the device that he made the call to is actually beeping and vibrating at this point in time. With that ice cage there, a big shadow sort of forms around it, and the shadow then starts to engulf the entire ice cage. And what actually happens is that you watch, kind of in disbelief, as several large metallic items slam down right into or maybe around it, slam down
around
into the
cage.
ice.
Yeah, ice cage,
okay.
yeah.
So he's iced up, and this large metal barrier slams into the ground, right around, and he's sort of moving out of the way as well.
And maybe Spider-Man can hop out of the way and maybe pull the...
Yeah, he's just sort of moving out of the way, and he's got the vehicle just sort of shoved out of the way. And so now we've got an ice cage as well as a metallic barrier that just seems to have landed right around the Juggernaut. And following that, very close behind, you hear the repulsor rockets of the one, the only, Tony Stark, Iron Man.
Nice.
Hey, Hank. Thanks for inviting me to your party. And then he sees the bars of gold right there. He says, "Aw, and I didn't get you anything." How nice. You can see that Iron Man has brought some adamantium-laced Tony Stark tech barrier. Typically used to, the intention was typically used to hold back a Hulk. So should hopefully be more than enough to hold back the Juggernaut, especially encased in the ice there.
You hear a lullaby playing in there. Go to sleep, go to sleep.
With that, it seems that the Juggernaut is completely subdued. Luckily enough, most of the civilians, in fact, all of the civilians seem to be safe and accounted for. Juggernaut secured, and Tony Stark is on the scene to address the heroes.
All right.
Yeah, and we'll get to that.
To say Spider-Man might be a little... I think he's probably interacted with Tony a few times in the past, but every time he sees him, he gets a little starstruck. And it's like, Mr. Tony, Sir Man, Mr. Iron Man, sir. Oh, great timing, sir. Well done. You totally had it, but definitely this was awesome, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Like, what did I tell you about where to operate?
Not in the middle of downtown.
Yeah.
Not in the middle of intersections.
All right, kid.
Not so close to happy hour.
Fantastic. Tony, your timing is impeccable as usual. Hey, Hank, thanks for the call. Always looking for an opportunity to try out some Hulk-grade containment tech.
Yeah, for sure.
As it seems that the Juggernaut is now thoroughly contained with being webbed up, iced up, and got this Hulk-grade containment, a ring of armor around him. How do our heroes respond?
Well, with relief. This would have been really dragged out, and a lot of people would have got hurt if finally the cavalry hadn't arrived in the form of Iron Man, which is awesome. But I think at this point now that things have cooled off, Iceman would kind of ice glide back over to Spidey and finally be able to get a chance to say, like, come over to Spider-Man there, say, "Hey, Spidey, really glad to see you. Glad you were in the neighborhood swinging on by." And then Spider-Man would be like, "Oh man, Iceman, you have no idea how glad I am to see you on a scorcher like today. Bring it in, buddy." And they just go in for a big hug, and Spider-Man's like, "Oh, yeah." And
he's just chilling on.
It's like hugging a popsicle. And Iceman would be the big smile on his face. I think maybe the hug might go on for just almost a few seconds, maybe a little bit too long. But no, they're just happy to see each other, old chums catching up.
So I think Iron Man would notice, of course, Spider-Man and Iceman being in the area. He'll start walking over towards Spider-Man and just sort of go, seeing this big embrace, this long embrace, this awkwardly long embrace, and he'll be like, as his sort of visor comes up, and you can see the face of Tony Stark. Spider-Man, always going in for the hug. Yeah, so he's just trying to get Spider-Man's attention.
Yeah, for sure. And Spider-Man will kind of look over, like, "Oh yeah, Mr. Tony Stark, sir. Hey, how you doing? So cool of you to jump in like that. And this armored containment field, this is amazing. I can't believe this. Is that adamantium? This is crazy. How did you get it to land in such pinpoint precision?" Oh man, he just starts kind of like just really wants a chance to geek out over this stuff. Yeah.
Tony would be like, "Yep, pretty basic stuff, kid. You know, so you should motion him over. You want us to bring him over, right? Sure. Have a little chat with him, a bit of a powwow."
Spider-Man will go over to Tony Stark, of course. Definitely reveres Tony Stark. Yeah. So he definitely and he also his dream job would actually be working for like Stark Tech as well too. So he definitely wants to keep Mr. Tony Stark happy there as well too. Of course, I'll be right there, Mr. Tony Stark, sir. And he jumps over to meet with him, I guess more in private. They're looking to have a private discussion. And as he's over there, I think Bobby will go over to Hank, or Hank maybe might go over to Bobby. Either way, those two would converse real quickly, because I'm pretty sure Hank might be itching to finally get back to the X mansion, although I guess we're not going to the bank anymore unless there's another bank up the street that he really needs to get to.
Yes. Oh, I suppose I'll have to deposit my checks another time. Yeah, he'll be like, "Well, thank you, Bobby, for a wonderful evening. I really did appreciate you taking me out, and the exercise was well appreciated too. But I do have to get back to my lab. Some very pressing, important matters I need to attend to."
Of course, old buddy. You're my old-time bestest friend in the world. So whenever I see you feeling down or blue, I'm definitely going to get you out on the town and try to cheer you up a little bit.
Well, if I wasn't so blue, I'd be blushing pink. Considering the fact that the Juggernaut is still there, but contained, he'll just be looking around, seeing that police again are arriving on scene, and he'll be, "Well, it looks like the boys are blue in here, so this blue beast is time to bounce," as they would say.
Time to bounce, yeah. Get him taken off to the raft there, and with Reed Richards, and they can keep him contained.
But that does leave Iceman sort of...
Yeah, Iceman was happy to see Spider-Man. I think he wants to kind of catch up with his good buddy. So I think you kind of just chill a little bit off on the side there, and not try to eavesdrop too much. Definitely be like knocking on the container. I mean, like, "You cool in there, big guy?"
Yeah, I was razzing the Juggernaut. Perfect. I love it. He's like, "Actually, it's kind of comfortable in here."
It was a hot day.
So getting Spider-Man's attention, Iron Man and Spider-Man are going to sort of go off to a little bit, just to sort of have a private conversation. And Tony's going to start the conversation off with Spider-Man, addressing him, and say, like, "I hope you weren't planning on a quiet night of homework and webbing up ATM robbers, because I need you now." So he looks at him seriously, and he's like, he's got his mask up.
Yeah.
Right? He's looking at him seriously so he can see the expression on his face. And he's like, "Doc Ock's back. Yeah. Octavius, 8 arms, bad haircut, even worse attitude. Somehow he broke into a Stark lab security unit. Don't ask me how. What matters is what he took." And Tony does press a button on one of his arm, and a holographic image of canister, reinforced with containment units pulsing with a black living liquid matter inside. I mean, I don't know if Spider-Man recognizes that or not, but
I think he'd recognize it.
Tony's
telltale sign of a symbiote trapped inside that container.
The symbiote, one of the nasty ones. Contained, stabilized, under lock and key, 12 levels of biometric authentication. But now it's gone. And I'm betting Octavius isn't planning on keeping it for a specimen collection. So he leans closer, shifting the tone from sarcasm to seriousness again with him. He's like, the tracker went dead a few blocks from the lab. I need you, Pete. I need your instincts, your history with this guy. You know how he thinks, you know how he operates. I'll be monitoring to provide some support, but I need you on the ground. And he pauses. He looks slightly more worried. If that symbiote bonds with Ock, we're not just talking trouble. We're talking extinction level ugly here. So, and then he just bucks up, and he puts his hand on his shoulder. He's like, so suit up, Spider-Man. New York needs you.
Yes, sir, Mr. Tony. He's like, sir, you can get, and he gives like kind of an awkward salute. He's like, do it. Is this, I mean, yes. And he goes in for a handshake and doesn't know what to really do with himself.
Yeah. It's just like, okay, yeah. Other pressing matters to attend to now, kid, but pick up the trail, all right? I'll keep tabs on you. We'll talk soon. And his mask goes down. He just blasts repulsor lift right now. As Tony Stark, Iron Man, blasts off, you see him just sort of, again, using his gauntlet there and typing in some commands.
Yeah.
And the repulsor lifts of the containment field just starts blasting off, and you see the repulsor beams just sort of blast off a lot of smoke and dust from around the area. So Bobby, being that close, face full of that.
He'll have you slide away from that and head over to where Peter was. Yeah.
But yeah, so the whole field just blasts off and follows Tony back to wherever he's heading off.
Awesome.
More police arriving on scene, officials arriving on scene, even some SHIELD members, I believe, just arrive on scene as well. Okay. In Tony's heels, Spider-Man with his history, with some of the officials of the city, might be looking to make himself maybe a little bit scarce. Definitely, they're giving the intention though that they've got it from here. We don't need any soups to take care of it from messing with things. We got to do things by the book here.
Okay, fair enough. So if they don't need our help, they got this contained, then Bobby will definitely head over to where Spider-Man is and kind of, say, I didn't really mean to eavesdrop, but I heard that something about a symbiote. Like I just watched Aliens. I don't want any of these face suckers in my city at all, and just gives a shiver. So I guess Spider-Man would fill him in on what Tony had said, and he's like, well, I mean, you've got nothing else to do. I can definitely use a partner at this. It's like, for sure, man. Let's go shut down this Doc Ock guy. Tony gave me the coordinates to the last place where the trail went cold. So what do you say we swing and ice slide over there?
So yeah, Tony does give him some information as to where to start, where Stark Labs was, where the break-in occurred. Yeah, knowing Spider-Man's ability to investigate and put things together.
Smart guy.
He'll leave it to him to sort that out. So
I think, sorry to pile onto that, I think Bobby, knowing, Spider-Man's an intelligent, smart guy, and he wants to kind of help out, so he'll kind of form like this little, like Sherlock Holmes hat over his head, and form a little pipe out of ice in one hand and a magnifying glass in the other, and like, I'll follow your lead, dude. I'll be your Watson to your Holmes. And then just kind of do a few puffs on it.
What we're going to do here is we're going to do a few agility checks just to see how well you can get there. If navigate the city, just make sure for timing purposes to see if you can get, the higher the roll, the faster you get there before evidence is contaminated, right? That type of thing. So what we're going to get you to do is, if you are going to ice glide and swing your way over to the labs,
for sure.
We're going to do with a skill challenge. We're going to get Spider-Man and Iceman to each give me their best web slinging, ice gliding, agility checks to try to navigate through the city and see how quickly they can get to the scene of the crime, we'll call it.
Both of my characters have a trait called free running. That will give them an edge on agility checks for doing anything that's kind of acrobatic or during a movement action. Do you think this might apply to them trying to get over there as quickly as possible with their free running trait?
Yeah, if it's an agility skill check, for sure. Let's, we got the traits, let's add them.
Yeah,
let's use them.
So the first leg of this might actually be a little fun for them, and they might make it a little bit of competition and try to see who can get the little quickest or with the most style. So I'm definitely curious to see who actually scores the higher agility score. Can make it there. Is there a target number we're aiming for?
There is a target number just to see if to see how well you can do.
Okay.
If you get over a certain target number, you do really well. If you get under a certain target number, you still get there. It's not a failure.
Right.
You just,
Didn't get there as quickly as you could.
not as quickly. Maybe the villains are getting a bit of a leg up on you, depending on how long it takes for you to sort of track things down.
Right. Okay. So, this might factor into like how quickly we can track down these clues. Might factor in later on.
Yeah, time is of the essence, essentially.
Okay.
So this isn't a skill. It's not a pass or fail, but it's just to see how well you do.
All right. So let's start with Spider-Man. Spider-Man will be first off. He just shoots up 2 webs in the building there, and on his way there, he just kind of quickly looks over his shoulder and quick shoots a web to a building and snaps a glinting little camera and then pulls it up to him and kind of stashes away real quick underneath. Maybe there's in a pocket of some sort that he might have in his uniform. So he wanted to collect his camera before he took off.
Perfect.
All right. So. Wow. Okay. I got a Marvel on the Marvel die, a 6 and a 5. I'm 1 away from getting an ultimate fantastic.
Already an amazing roll, but you do have, like we said, we're going to honor the trait of free running.
Free running, so I do get an edge. I'm going to reroll this 5. Come on, let's get a 6.
No.
Ultimate fantastic.
And this is how we're going to start, are we?
Just like a fly. Iceman can't even track him. Like, we started. Where'd he go? Like, and he's like, woohoo! Already got that start, buddy. Just like he was flying, like he was born to web sling. You just poof.
Nice. Just flipping in the air, just without even looking, just making his web shots and getting on target, and just making it look like a Cirque du Soleil act, essentially. I mean, honestly, I'm trying to figure out the best way to honor this Ultimate Fantastic, but it will definitely pay dividends later on. Let's just say that.
Okay, cool.
Don't have a way to honor it just yet, but we'll get there. We'll get there.
Fair enough. It's always funny when we get the Ultimate Fantastic one. It's like more of a skill challenge than it is like an attack or something like that. I think it's always when we're trying to open a door or something like that.
Yep.
All right. So this one will be for Bobby, Iceman. Oh, not so great actually. I used up all my good stuff already. So that's a 14 right now. So we're gonna reroll this 2 with my free running. Worse. It was a 1. 14.
14. Okay, that's not bad, but it's not. It's definitely not an Ultimate Fantastic.
I think he was just agog at how fast and how agile Spider-Man was. Like, oh man, he's just like, he just found it so majestic. He really wasn't paying all that much attention and almost kind of careened into a building. He's like, oh, get your head back in the game, Bobby. And just picked it up maybe a little near the end there, but yeah, definitely a slow start.
Exactly. And so it's, I mean, he definitely gets there, not a problem. And he's sliding around, but he's distracted by trying to find out where Spider-Man went.
But I think Spider-Man would have been looking behind him, still far behind, so he may have been leaving signs for Bobby, like catch up, slowpoke, and webbing, and put an arrow pointing like this way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I don't know if he told him exactly where they're heading. He definitely would leave a trail behind for Bobby to follow because he was so far ahead of him.
Okay. Yep, that's fantastic. I love it. Spider-Man getting there before Bobby. They did actually arrive at the Stark Labs, but they're not going to be entering the Stark Labs. It's too high security, right? They don't have the security pass. But it was just sort of a rendezvous point, an easier point for them to sort of meet up at and then start their search from there. As you know, Tony had mentioned that they tracked the canister to a few blocks away before they lost the signal. So,
yes. So Spider-Man clearly got there first and was just kind of waiting around. As soon as he sees Bobby running on the corner, he's like tapping his wrist. He's like, come on, man. And when Bobby finally does catch up, he's like, dude, that was amazing. How did you, I've never seen anything like that before. It's like, Spider-Man's like, yeah, I guess I was just in the zone. If I'm remembering correctly, apparently the canister had a tracking device, and that tracking device stopped working a few blocks from here.
Yep.
Okay. So, and he got that coordinate or the address or where the signal went dead?
Yeah, Tony would have given him the GPS signal area.
Great.
Coordinates.
Yeah. Cool, because we got the coordinates. And okay, so let's start our investigation there. The web swings over and slides over. You want to do a check for that, or are we just going to say that
No, it's so close. It's only a few blocks.
Okay, you're right. Just a few blocks away, yeah. So we did our agility check for this.
You got there, well, one of you got there pretty quick.
All right. So I guess we web swing and slide over there, and we arrive at the coordinates.
Okay, so you're at the coordinates. So you actually do find yourself in the coordinates do lead to an alleyway between a lot of dark buildings, of course.
Of course.
Typical items you'd find tipped over trash bins, and you'd find some those roll open doors that you'd see in some factory areas or industrial areas.
Oh, like overhead garage
Yeah,
doors?
from the back of buildings and things like where you do deliveries and all that, right? So so it is fairly dim, but it is still midday in New York, so there's still some light. So if you're going to start searching the area, I will need a vigilance check from both of you.
We're hunting for clues.
You can do vigilance or a logic check. Vigilance would be to sort of scope out the area and see what you see. Logic check is going to be more looking for more like forensic things.
Sounds good. Based on the stats, though, I think maybe Iceman, Bobby, will, because he's got a little higher vigilance, he might be scoping out the area and trying to see what most seems maybe out of place.
Yeah.
Let's let the dice help us out here a little bit, and let's do a vigilance check with Bobby.
Okay.
Get +5 to these ones for non-combat.
Yes, this is a non-combat check.
Okay. Pretty good roll. 6 on the Marvel die.
Oh, wow.
14 plus 5 is 19.
Oh,
so we got
okay.
19 on my vigilance check.
A 19 on the vigilance check is pretty darn good, I'm going to say, especially in the dim light that they've got there. So you do see a van. The van looks abandoned. The tires are all blown. There's, the engine looks like it's been, with the vigilance check, you can definitely tell the engine looks like it's been just absolutely been fried. Like there's some sort of maybe an explosion of some sort. It's definitely not going to be up and running at any time soon. And some glass for the windshield and the side door panels from the passenger side been smashed. Like that. But it does look like one of those moving vans or storage vans.
Okay.
Not one of the big ones, but one of the mini-sized ones.
So you're like, hey, Spidey, check out that busted up van over there. Does that look suspicious to you? And Spider-Man would be like, yeah, sure, let's go check it out. And he'll quickly jump over there, sling over there, and do an investigation, I think, more thorough investigation of this van.
Great. Yeah. So give me a Spider-Man logic check as they investigate this van.
No, I don't think I have anything in my traits to give me an advantage, but my logic check was pretty good, and I have a +4 to my logic, so I got 18 on the... Oh, sorry, it's +5 to my logic check. 19 on my logic check.
Okay, so both great vigilance and logic skill checks. Peter definitely gets an indication that there was an electrical surge, some sort of power that sort of fried this place. Like everything just looks like fried. You can smell the burnt rubber. You can smell the just the components of the vehicle just sort of just blown. Unfortunately, they don't find any devices or anything like that. It just seems like a regular van. But what they do find is a heck of a lot of napkins and business cards from a local dive pub, not something he would ever take Aunt May to. Let's just say that, or Mary Jane for that matter. but yeah, he knows the area. He knows that it's a seedy bar.
Yeah, so Peter will probably be showing Iceman these napkins, these business cards, and Bobby's gonna like, okay, well, let's go get a drink.
Okay, it's a little bit ways across town, not too far from where you are. But just for fun, let's have another challenge between Iceman and Spider-Man and see who comes out first this time.
Yeah, swinging slides.
So who are we rolling for first?
Oh, yes, good call. Let's do Spider-Man first. With an edge with their free running.
Yeah, we did see that.
Yeah, nice. I got a Marvel on this one. So Spider-Man is just killing it. Marvel on that, and let's re-roll one of these threes for a slightly higher number. Roll the 3 into a 4. 20.
A 20? Oh,
20 for Spider-Man.
That's another amazing roll.
With the Marvel.
With the Marvel, yeah. So, I mean, exactly. It's just even more finessed. This agile spider, it just shows off again. I mean, he may not know exactly where the restaurant is,
but sure, with the address, right? So
with the address,
with his phone, just kind of punches in.
Oh yeah, without even looking, just slinging like that. He's just got his phone giving him the coordinates, but making it look like he knows exactly where he's going.
Enough.
With that kind of a
keep up, Drake. And so he's off to the races again. Just great.
Fantastic timing as well.
Just a giant leap in the air with his mighty spider strength, and just got up, sort of webbing and parkouring over the buildings. And let's see if we can compete. Okay, didn't get a Marvel, but rolled pretty high. 14 plus 6, so also a 20.
Wow.
But let's see if we can do a little bit better. I'm going to re-roll 4 into a 5, so technically 21. Not a Marvel, 21. But he did get 21, so hopefully made up some ground.
Wow, okay. This time it was much closer. This time it was much closer. I think it's mostly just Bobby just sort of trailing Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man can definitely swing through the alleyways and swing through the buildings, and Bobby's just sort of really on his.
You just like kind of like just almost ice pillared straight up to get like some massive height, and then just did this massive curvy ice slides where you could just really get, it was really steep at first and build up a lot of speed, and then just started putting the slidey ice waves there, and just hopefully managed to catch up a little bit.
I'm going to say with Spidey's Marvel, but with Iceman's higher roll, it's pretty much a tie. I mean, but I think what would happen. Yeah, but I think in this case, they're both very, very fast. So they got there in fairly record time. They know where the bar is. It's a fairly seedy area. They're going to so you can do what you may, but indicating to you that you probably don't want to just slide right into the place. This is a place where a lot of ne'er-do-wells, a hive of scum and villainy, one might say, would dwell.
Excellent. To that point, then, because I don't think Peter's gonna, again, keeping his identity secret, obviously he's not gonna disrobe or take his uniform off, but Bobby could. Bobby can just go back into his regular civilian clothes. So I think I don't think Spider-Man would be welcome into this type of seedy bar, or definitely won't.
Well, I'm gonna say that if he walked in there as Spider-Man, there would be a lot of people not happy to see him. A lot of people would probably not want to be in an area with him, and so they would have a hard time asking questions.
Okay, definitely
give that to you for your Marvel.
Okay, I appreciate that. I kind of, that's the vibe I was picking up. So what I think Spider-Man will do, he'll probably do a little reconnaissance maybe on the top of this building. Hopefully there's like something where you can peer into. Maybe there's a skylight, or maybe some vents you can kind of listen to. But I think he'll discuss this with Bobby. They'll kind of make a plan before they head across the street and get in there and be like, okay, Bobby, I'm not gonna go in there obviously looking like Spider-Man. It's probably not gonna help us. But Iceman's like, shh, don't worry, dude, I got this. And he just goes in civilian clothes. Spider-Man's like, hey, I'm gonna head up to the top of the building there and kind of skulk around and see what I can hear and check out the back alley around the side alleys. And see if there's a skylight. And I'll keep an eye on you. But if you get into trouble, let's come up with a code word for you to yell out just in case you need my help, and I'll come, rushing in. And Bobby will like, face suckers. Code word is face suckers. If you hear me scream face suckers, you come running. Spider-Man's like, okay. Yeah, Spider-Man will web sling up to across the street and get onto the roof of this dive bar, and Bobby will kind of like puff up his chest a little bit and kind of walk in as he's, a cocky attitude, bad attitude, like no mess with me kind of attitude, and just kind of walk in in his shorts and his Hawaiian shirt and his flip-flops.
Oh, man. All right. Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, to sort of give you an idea that, again, this is sort of in off the main street, sort of down another street and around the corner type bar, right? I mean, you'll see a lot of motorcycles and a lot of trash cans and sort of, it's not well kept, and it is sort of in the basement area of a building. But Spider-Man could definitely be in around, like he could definitely be watching the back alleys. He could definitely, he could be on top of buildings around the area and still have a great view of people coming in and out of the bar.
Okay, great. Yeah, just as long as you're doing reconnaissance.
Yeah. So you're saying that Bobby just sort of walks into the bar. How old is Bobby, if you don't mind asking?
Yeah, he's definitely old enough. He's over 21 for sure. I mean, I know Bobby's been the youngest member of the X-Men for a while, and he gets like a young vibe, but I say he's like maybe 22, 23, somewhere up there, maybe just a little bit older than Spider-Man.
Okay.
Like I say, Jack, Spider-Man would be in college at this time, so he's probably in his 20s, I think, and so Bobby probably around 22 or something like that,
Okay. Yeah. All right. So you'll get kicked out right away. Maybe.
Hopefully not. Well, he's got some traits for this, hopefully this situation will come out. He's got glibness, so he's really good at striking up conversations with anyone for the first time.
A lot of people just sort of looking up at this young guy and just have really just sort of look him up and down and just sort of be like grunting and just nodding. Just looking at this guy wondering.
So as soon as we're walking in, he's trying to keep his cool.
He'll see pool tables. He maybe see some booths and some obviously bar stools and a jukebox at the far end of the
jukebox. Nice.
Yeah, I mean,
my kind of place.
Exactly. And yeah, again, the lighting's not great. We've got ceiling fans, maybe just turning really, really slowly. We've got a few pillars in and about the area. It's a basement turned into bar.
Okay.
There is a bartender.
They got a lot of brick aesthetics.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Just industrial brick basement, but turned into a bar. So you see all the amenities that you would expect to see in those types of bars. Some people being boisterous and loud, other people just being quiet and just nursing their drinks, just trying to keep to themselves. You see your assortment of ne'er-do-wells and grimy-looking gentlemen and females.
Would there be anybody in there that Bobby would recognize? Or like, there's no like villains or anything?
You'll have to give me a vigilance check to see if you can make out anything that. But yeah, okay. If you want, go ahead. Give me a vigilance check. To see
okay, yeah. So as he's walking, trying to go, he's kind of scanning the area for trouble. So he's keeping his guard up. B, for anybody he recognizes, and C, maybe just a spot on the bar. Because I think maybe the first person you probably want to talk to is the bartender. Because the bartender always knows this kind of information. Yeah, but he's making his way to the bar. Great. Looking for an open seat next to.
And you just want to see if he recognizes somebody that might recognize him, or if he recognizes them.
For sure.
Yeah.
Only 2 on the Marvel die, but a 5 and 6 on the other dice. So we add that together. 8 is...
An 18?
18, yeah, that sounds about right, yeah. 18 on the vigilance check.
Based on some of the clientele that you see there, you'd probably pick up that there is a very short, squat, auburn-haired, greasy type of texture, skin tone. You see a tongue sort of slick out and go back from his drink and back into his mouth.
He probably couldn't even help himself. It's like, what, Toad? And as soon as he sees, Toad, you blurt that out. I don't know if he'd hear him. Would if he's close to him? I guess
it would have been close enough that, and he would have been, seeing the new guy and sort of sensing that a lot of people got quiet when somebody walked in. It would have definitely caught his attention. He was actually trying to keep his sleeves on the bar and just sort of keep his jacket up, just sort of make sure he didn't get noticed by Bobby, but he definitely did notice Bobby.
Cool. Bobby's going right up to him, slapping him on the back, say, "Hey, old buddy, what's going on? Fancy seeing you here."
He just sort of spits out his drink. He's, "X-Men, whatever it is, I want no part of it."
No. Chill.
He just sort of he's up on the stool, and his both feet are up on the stool, and he's just getting ready to leap. And his tongue just sort of out there. Just takes one lip of the drink as well. Whatever it is, I'm not involved. I don't know what you're here for.
Hey, whoa, slow down. Yeah. Let's talk this out. No need to get super defensive. I'm not accusing you of anything. I'm looking to ask him a few questions, innocent questions. Sit back down. I'll get you a drink. Come on. And does this drink have ice in it at all? So I could chill down from a little bit.
If you wanted to just give that little chill
touch to the side of it, and just a chill.
I'm going to ask you to give me an ego check to see if you can calm him down before he just bounces.
Cool.
Yeah. The offer to give him a drink and chill his current drink, which you notice the ice probably would have evaporated on it, does sort of calm him down a little bit. So I'll give you an edge.
Hey,
on this one.
Thanks, appreciate that. Nice. 5, and let's see if I can roll this one into a 5. Not 3. So that's 13 plus my ego. 13 plus 8 would be 21.
Blackjack. You definitely see Toad calming down now with the offer of buying him another drink. And as he just cools down his drink, he just sort of does another tongue lick and enjoys that coolness from the very hot day.
I was just trying not to be creeped out by the tongue thing, but okay, yeah.
All right, X-Man. You order me another drink, and maybe I stick around just long enough to slurp it. You can ask me some of your questions before I get out of here. I got lots of stuff to do, I'm busy.
Why are you so busy? Don't you have some time to chill with your old friend Bobby?
Yeah. Bartender.
Fair enough. All right, this drinks are on me. Don't worry, I got this guy. I'll have what he's drinking too.
I don't know if you'll really want that. We call it swamp water.
Oh, then maybe without the swamp. I'll just take a water.
All right, then. Then he pulls out some glasses. They don't look too clean, and he starts fixing the drinks. Another glass of whatever he was drinking called swamp water. I'll let your imagination run with that one. But he looks at Bobby, and he's just like, "How old are you?"
Okay, so anyways, we're actually looking for this guy. I'm sure you've heard of him. A really smart dude, lots of arms. Doctor Octavius, Otto Octavius. Does this ring any bells?
Don't know if I know him particularly.
Do you know anybody around here that might know him? We're kind of trying to track down his whereabouts.
Might know him. Well, and then Toad just sort of looks almost kind of wistfully, almost kind of like you see sort of like a sparkle in his eye.
Oh.
And he's just like, well, there's this one Oh, lady. We call her Lady Electro. Francine Fry. Yeah. Well, she's a regular around here. A real looker, you know. Brown hair. She's just got a real electric personality about her. Apparently she's talking about a job that was being offered her and by some doctor. I don't know his name. Could be the guy you're looking for. But it sounded kind of shady. So, you know, just being the gentleman that I am.
Of course. Yep. You just scream gentleman. You have gentleman vibes. Carry on. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. So then Toad just sort of snaps back and said, yeah. She was talking about a job. Sounded kind of seedy. Sounded kind of dangerous, actually. Involved some sort of Stark lab. Yeah. I don't want to mess with Iron Man. Yeah, I know Iron Man. We all know Iron Man. Tony Stark makes sure everybody knows about Iron Man.
Yeah, tell me about it. Yeah. That guy's got such a huge ego. Not like me or anything, but you know, us cool dudes over here. No, we know how to keep it chill, right?
That's right. You know, yeah. You just, you know, be your own kind of guy, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Anyways, like I was saying, like a gentleman that I am, I wanted to make sure that she wasn't getting over her head, you know? Maybe I'd help her out if she needed help. You know, not that she could. She's so capable. But anyways, I wasn't following her or anything. Nothing like that. Not creepy or anything, right? But just trying to protect her. So I followed her. We come down to an alleyway. I'm in my van. And I see that Lady Electro in all her glory busting out of Tony Stark's lap. Ha! How do you like that? Take it, Tony. Along with her, there's a guy with all these long metal arms just crawling along. He was holding on to this canister of some sort. I don't know what it was. Looked freaky. You know, real aliens kind of stuff, right? You seen that movie?
Yeah, no, okay, carry on. Keep moving.
Yeah. Anyway, so there she was hanging out with this tentacle guy and, I don't know, somebody else. Somebody else that was keeping watch. He seemed real muscly, kind of. I didn't impress me or anything like that, but if you're interested, he's got green armor and long spiky tail.
Did you see where they went to? Like, we know they broke out of the Stark lab. This is definitely the guy we're looking for. Did you follow further? I mean, as the gentleman that you are, did you make sure that Lady Electro and these other two guys got to their destination safe?
Seeing Lady Electro and those guys, I didn't know if they were chasing her or if she was working with them, right? So I just sort of jumped out of the alley after parking my truck and wanted to know if she needed any help. Yeah, anyways, she obviously took it the wrong way and shot a bolt at me. Of course, you know, I dived out of the way, but my poor van just got vaporized. But she didn't mean it or anything like that, you know. I'm sure it was just a knee-jerk reaction. I should have known better. Dark alleyway. I heroically jumped out of the way, started climbing the walls, and you know, watched them scamper off and head towards I think one of those large sewer grates.
They went into the sewers?
Well, I don't know there, Mr. Interested. My memory is getting a little fuzzy on the details. Maybe you could do a little something to help me remember, huh?
So tell you what, Toad, and next time we meet, you know, with my other teammates, the X-Men, I'll go easy on you.
Oh, yeah, well,
I'll let them know how good of a guy you are and how helpful you were today.
Give me another ego check on this one. We'll see if you can get the last bit of information.
Last bit of information? Okay, guys. It's been very helpful. Right place, right time. 12 on the dice plus 8 gives me a score of 20 for my ego check.
20. Man, oh man, can this guy be smooth?
Keep the drinks flowing.
Oh, okay, pretty cool dude. Maybe the drinks are nice, but you know, that's not keeping keep me in my rent, keeping me. Since my van got blown up, I don't need to look for this place to stay. You think maybe the mansion's got a room that you hold me up in?
Tell you what, dude, you've been extremely helpful today, and I really appreciate it, man. And I would definitely give the prof your highest recommendation. So next time you are looking for a place, definitely come on by, and I'll definitely vouch for you, man. Definitely, totally. And you know, here's some cab money for your ride home or to get home safe. And so he gives him $20.
He tongues it. He sticks it in his.
And I am tapped. So he closes his wallet. That's all I got, man. And thank you so much for your help.
All right.
By the way, which grade was this?
Why don't I show you? Hey, he'll take you to the destination that you need to find. Yep.
I thought it was throw him on my back and ice slide him over there and wear him like a backpack. Hold on, bud. Let's go.
Tongue will be flapping out as you go. Yeah.
Come on, Spidey. I gotta leave.
All right. Give me one last agility check to get to the area the Toad's going to show you.
Cool. All right. We'll start with Iceman. Then he's already got the head start on Spidey. He just jumped off the building. He's like, "Way up, Bobby!" So this is Iceman's roll. Oh no, 10 right now. But if I still got an edge on these checks for free running,
sure.
You roll that marble die. All right. You rolled the marble die into a 5. So that's 11 plus 2 is 13 plus my agility of 6, so 19.
Oh, jeez. Wow.
19 for Bobby with a Toad on his back.
Yeah, even with Toad sort of like, grabbing onto what he can grab on.
And by the
covering
way,
your eyes, pulling your cheek a little bit.
On the slide right there, I'm like, so you really like this Electro lady? Dude, don't you know what happens when Toads get hit by lightning?
The same thing that happens to everybody else.
You've heard that one, have you? All right, fair enough. All right, so how about Spider-Man?
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh no, Spider-Man was caught off guard by Bobby's abrupt exit. Thankfully, he's got an edge on this one as 2, so we reroll that marble die, rolled it back into a 2. Spider-Man's dropping the proverbial ball here. 14?
14.
Okay.
I mean, it's definitely not on par from what he's been able to perform. Maybe he's just caught off a little off guard, seeing a little gremlin on the back of Bobby as he leaves the bar. It's like,
the heck did I miss?
Anyway, so he's just caught off a little bit guard, and maybe that just slows him down just a little bit, and he's not trying to outpace Bobby this time. He's actually trying to follow him.
Yeah, falling a little behind, but still tracks him.
Yeah.
And like the ice slide is kind of hard to miss.
And he's trailing back some of the slime coming off of Toad, and is just kind of
that better wash off.
But sure enough, Toad, good enough on his word, and because of that amazing ego check, Toad does take you to an entrance area. Toad didn't follow them through, but he does give you to the location as to where they did go underground. And I'd say that at this time, Tony gives a little buzz call on one of the devices that Spider-Man has. Spider-Man does have a little beeper or pager, I guess. And so he'll click it, and a little holographic image of Iron Man, Tony Stark's face, pops up. And he says, "Hey, Queens, we got some updated information for you."
Yeah, so like, can we change that nickname? I'm not really digging the Queens. Like, what's wrong with Queens? As Bobby kind of slides around. Suits you. Like, all right, fine. What? Sorry, carry on, Tony.
Right. We've been tracking some energy signals. It's coming from deep underground. We're talking like old city infrastructure, completely off the grid. We're thinking Doc Ock's got himself a lab down there. We're talking like classic villain stuff here. What's your situation?
Great timing, Mr. Stark, sir. We just found this sewer entry to, the sewers. We assume he's down there somewhere.
I'll send you what I got here, kid. And then you'll see that the beeper sort of does actually form this little holographic 3D map. It's a bit rough. Okay. But it's best I could do on short notice, kid. I'm sure you'll make your way.
This is awesome, Mr. Stark, sir. Thank you.
All right. Well, I'll check up with you shortly. Be careful, all right? Don't take any risks. You know where to operate. So he'll sign off, but you'll get this little map
of the sewer.
Well, sewer or subterranean, like old infrastructure, sort of city stuff. We're thinking like
including subways.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, whole subway, old subway type sewer, large sewers,
right?
Those types of things.
Big enough for us to skateboard through.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool.
Again, he'll give you some information as to where to look. So he'll give where they picked up some energy signatures.
Okay, so we don't know exactly where it is, but we know where to start heading.
Exactly. Now, Toad is going to be hearing that interaction, and he'd be like, "What are your intentions towards Francine? You're not going to hurt her, are you?"
And I think Spider-Man would probably respond fastest because he's fought Electro before. And she's like, "Look, we're not looking for a fight, but if she throws the first punch, we're definitely going to defend ourselves, sir."
Well, good luck. Francine's a real powerhouse. He just bounces off. But you get the sense he didn't go too far.
Okay.
All right. What would you like to do?
With a holographic map, was it?
Yeah.
Of the sewer system? We're going to locate our point on that map, and
there's a little "you are here" from Tony. Yes.
Oh, excellent. So he's got the GPS tracker, of course. Yeah, thanks, Tony, sir. So we'll start at that point, and I guess we will guide our ways through this labyrinthian.
You're exactly correct. It is quite the labyrinth under there. We'll do one more A vigilance for tracking, just sort of making sure you can follow the map and you're seeing the markers. Because there's one thing to look at a map and then actually to see the actual infrastructure that you're in and to try to navigate it.
Right.
For Spider-Man and Bobby,
Okay.
You could both do. Let's say you're working together, so you'll do a vigilance check with an edge.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Bobby, Iceman has the best vigilance, so we're gonna use him.
Okay.
As the roller here.
Spider-Man will be the spotter.
Yeah. There we go. And so we got a +5 to this. So I'm gonna roll this Marvel. Oh, the Marvel die. Hope we get a Marvel. No, went down to a 2. So yeah, unfortunately, 15 is our total.
15. Okay. Yeah, it's not good. It's not bad. So it's a fair roll. But in this situation, yeah, you do sort of get an idea as to where the markers are.
This place is totally dark, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's fairly well. Actually, that's a good point. Yeah, it would be fairly dark.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe Spider-Man with his phone's got his little light on.
Yeah, I was
gonna
say,
and Bobby's probably got
his phone.
He's a phone too. Yes,
Yeah.
we just got our phone lights really going. That's basically how we're navigating
Yeah.
so far.
Yeah, with the 15, you do struggle a little bit, even though you do have the glow of the map and your phone's there shining the way. It does take you a bit longer than you would have liked to get there, but get there you do. In fact, you start to hear the hum and thrum of a lot of energy, sort of like conduits, kind of like old Tesla coils, types of type sounds from the distance. Let me know what you're doing as you're approaching this.
Well, yeah.
Potential area.
So we're definitely staying out of any kind of gross sewer water. So if Bobby sees any kind of liquid at all, he's going to be freezing it over. Spider-Man will be kind of crawling on the walls a little bit and trying to stay out of the muck and the grime and try to avoid any rats or anything gross like that. It's like, man, this job sometimes, dude, like the laundry bill is just insane. I come back sometimes smelling so gross, you have no idea. Bobby's like, dude, yeah, I know. I'm starting to regret my early decision to follow you around down here. This sucks.
Are you essentially with that banter though? Being fairly quiet, I imagine, as you're approaching.
We're whispering the whole time.
Well, I imagine so. But I mean, as you were getting closer and you start hearing the electrical snaps and pulses,
Spider-Man, once you see the light and hear the crackle and thing, Spider-Man's going to be up on the ceiling of the sewer, and he's like, Bobby, let me scout up ahead real quick, okay? I'm just going to check it out. I'm not going to go too far. And he's going to do stealthily and quietly kind of crawl there, and Bobby's just going to like hang back.
Okay.
But he's not going to let Spider-Man go too far out of his sight. If he does go to his sight, then he'll start.
The target number for sneaking and hiding, I believe, is your agility defense, which is 19.
So you're rolling for...
So I'm rolling to see if I can beat your agility defense.
Okay.
And if I do,
because
there's a chance that they may be aware that you and Bobby...
Oh, so there is somebody out there on patrol?
You remember, well, at least Bobby remembers, and I assume filled in Spider-Man when they got there, that Toad had informed you that there were 3 people that he'd run into. Doc Ock, Lady Electro, as identified by Toad, and another hulking form of a green guy with a long tail.
Right. To that point, I don't think we should know. Bobby would probably not know who that is, but Spider-Man would.
So Spider-Man knows or should be aware that to be on guard, there may be somebody that's trying to be on the lookout while Doc Ock, is operating or doing whatever it is that a mad scientist wants to do.
Fair enough.
Let's find out how we do.
Okay.
All right. Well, I rolled myself a Marvel. That's always nice. So 17 does not meet. Yes.
Not meet the 19.
That does have a Marvel. So I would only say that no, absolutely not alerted. But you get the sense that somebody's still on edge. As you crawl closer to approach, you do actually see a lot of electricity. You'll see the blackened form. Only because of the light and how it's shocking. Like you can see this figure with electricity just sort of swirling around her as she's just sort of pumping her electricity into these conduits. I'll give you the fact that you do see someone lurking, a large figure, reminiscent of that green long-tailed figure. You don't directly see them. They don't directly see you. But you do see the shadow and the shape, and you get the sense that they're not out in the open, but they are sort of lurking around, keeping a watch, keeping a lookout.
So if you rolled a Marvel and fail, that's a fantastic failure. So would say that maybe he doesn't see Spider-Man this time, but he suspects something might be out there, and his guard maybe goes up a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I do want to sort of honor the Marvel and to say that I would say that this person looks on edge. So it would be rather difficult to someone is actually actively keeping a lookout. So you're going to have to. So the difficulty to sort of sneak up on them is going to
get past them.
Or to get past them. Yeah,
okay,
it's going to be more difficult.
More difficult. That makes sense.
With with the role of the Marvel, alert.
So he's going to kind of backtrack and crawl backwards back the way he came and get back to Bobby and say like, okay, yeah, this is definitely the spot. But we've got a scorpion-looking dude, definitely on guard, and Electro's way up there and she's like charging up something. I haven't seen Doc Ock yet, but he's definitely in there. I don't know how we're going to get past the scorpion guy. I think he almost saw me. And then from there, Bobby's going to be like, I think I got a plan. Let's see how well Bobby's plan goes here. Basically, my intent is to absolutely Looney Tunes this situation.
Oh boy. All right, what do you got planned?
Something he's been working on, and this might be his chance to see how well this goes. He's going to make a ice sculpture of himself, Iceman is, kind of in the center of this sewerway into this laboratory. When he does that, he's going to try to get off to the side, take some cover and hide there. So this is going to be like the decoy.
The decoy.
Right.
Okay.
Spider-Man is going to cling to the ceiling of the sewers here and creep up probably about, I'd say maybe 5 spaces in front of the decoy of Iceman.
On top.
From the ceiling, yeah. So where the decoy is, he's going to be on the ceiling about 5 spaces forward towards the main structure here, towards the main lab.
Okay, yeah.
The opening is fairly high up.
Yeah, at least 20 feet or so. Yeah, it's a fairly large corridor.
I was hoping for a little bit more height there, but that's fine. That kind of makes sense. Because the main crux of this plan hinges around what Spider-Man is going to be holding on to with a little tether of thread. So Iceman is going to be...
Well, there could be tubes and sewer pipes that extend up further than the 20 feet. The tunnel itself would be 20 feet, but there's tubes and things like that.
Fair enough. Then that'd be great. You're trying to get enough height as you can in position about 5 spaces away from the decoy. And while he's up there, Iceman is going to start conjuring up some ice chunks, and then Spider-Man is going to web them up as he's conjuring them. So eventually they're going to build up this giant block of ice that Spider-Man's going to be kind of holding on to like a pendulum up above and kind of like hide with this ice block up there in the ceiling.
Okay.
And if you're seeing where this is going, we got a decoy, a giant block of ice hanging from the ceiling, and we're going to try to call in, I guess it was Scorpion that was at the forefront on patrol?
Greenish person with armor that has a long scorpionish type tail. Yes. I don't want to put a label on it just yet. Okay. I guess for those types of shenanigans, they're trying to be sneaky, but also trying to be obvious because there's a decoy, but you don't want him to be alerted to you just yet. But
fair enough. I mean, Spider-Man does need to crawl within some proximity, and I'm probably standing maybe about several spaces back, at least 5 to 10 spaces back from him. So if you think that may be getting too close to him, Spider-Man can make another stealth check.
He did get a Marvel, so he is more aware. He's more on edge. Let's do another stealth check, I guess, to figure out if he's aware of...
close and kind of keep this contained as he's sneaking up there a little bit.
Yeah, so as you're
Bobby,
working on this.
that's the thing is, Bobby does want to get Scorpion's attention, but not until Spider-Man's in position.
Yeah.
But once Spider-Man is in position, Bobby will call out to try to get the Scorpion person's attention, and...
I'll just call out, okay.
So he sees the decoy and will kind of, hopefully, charge towards it, and then we can spring our trap.
All right, I definitely will honor that, but let's see how well it goes.
I guess you make the check.
So he'll have to make the check,
right?
Yes, but he had a Marvel in the last one, so we're going to give him an edge on this one to see if he can spot what's going on.
Okay.
We got to try to beat a
19.
19. Okay.
Vigilance check.
Well, not with that roll. So we have a 16 right now. Okay, we're going to re-roll the 3. If we roll into a 6, we might just shy. So Scorpion got an 18, which wasn't enough to get through the vigilance check to see what was going on there. But again, he's on patrol, so you will start to see the aforementioned large green armored figure with a large spiky tail. And as he's on his patrol, he will start heading towards the entranceway or the edge between where it goes from sewer into Mad Scientist Laboratory, but still unaware of anyone's presence.
Okay.
He will start, but I will say at this point in time, he's walking in front of the entranceway.
Perfect.
We just happen to have an alternate Iceman figure from a different game. We'll use that as the stand-in decoy.
Nice.
So where did you think you would conjure that?
Maybe around there, maybe like 1 square back. No, the other way.
Just right back at the far
right there.
edge.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Spider-Man is 5 spaces above that, running the ceiling, hiding through the pipes and stuff, like holding on to this massive block of ice that probably weighs about the size of a small compact car. He's got it on his multiple threads of his webbing, but enough that he can kind of swing a little bit if he needs to.
Well, let's see how this plays out. So yeah, as he's on his patrol, he's walking forward. He does sort of let's see, there's some mists that sort of clears out. He sees a dark shape, and then the mist sort of clears, and in the dark shape, he does see an ice sculpture figure of a humanoid.
Yeah,
like a solid snake. There's a whong, and a big exclamation mark pops up over his head, and he definitely turns.
Bobby's going to see his chance to really to strike it home, or maybe just can't help himself. Be like, "Hey, you look like you work here. The toilets back here are busted as all get out."
What? Who's that? Get out of here! And he's going to start moving towards this sculpture as he tries to make out exactly what he's dealing with.
Right. So Spider-Man would have been, I guess, in game terms, holding in action until the Scorpion came within range of this giant ice block that he's holding up now, apparently right above his head, about 5 spaces away. And as soon as Scorpion gets underneath it, he's going to drop this giant block of ice right on top of Scorpion's head.
Oh, all right. Well,
Which
how do we...
be an agility attack based on these terms. It'd be like...
Okay. So does he...
Is Scorpion rank 4?
Yes.
So that's equal rank to Spider-Man?
Yes.
Because I've never seen a better time to use combat trickery than this.
Okay. This definitely falls in the combat trickery territory for sure. Right, so Scorpion now is crawling up the sewer hallway, and Spider-Man's got this large iced up, webbed up cube.
Yeah.
And he sees the target reach the proverbial target zone.
The X that we've got, maybe.
The X, yeah, right.
On the ground.
On the ground, absolutely. And he launches this large ice block right towards... Yeah, thanks. Right towards Scorpion. Scorpion does have the ability to do what's called a spider dodge. He's very agile.
Right.
So we'll probably use the reaction to see if he can get out of that. That's going to give trouble on your attack.
Marvel.
What?
Marvel. But that's the problem, right? Now this one actually gives me trouble.
Right.
So I have to re-roll this Marvel. But unless I use my combat trickery, which is my reaction for 5 focus, you keep the Marvel, and I'd have to re-roll another die.
Okay, well, that's up to you. Do you want to use your reaction? Or you can re-roll the trouble now and then use your reaction.
Game this a little bit. I'm going to re-roll that Marvel. Roll into a 6, but
wow, that's still
not a Marvel. Yeah. I'm going to use my reaction on Spider-Man to do combat trickery to make it a Marvel. This seems like the opportune time for combat trickery. So that's going to cost 5 focus and 1 of my reactions. So that would mean we'll get a Marvel on that. So what's his agility defense?
It's 16.
16, okay. So I think we got over that. Yeah, that's a 19.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, that definitely hits. So
hits the mark. And our Looney Tunes trap goes off without a hitch and lands right on top of the guy. Crash!
Oh, with Spider-Man doing a sound, Scorpion does look up and he's like, what? And this big block of ice just falls right on top of him, crunch, and hits him.
So his agility is a ×4 modifier, so that would be only a 6×2. Not amazing. So that would be a 12 plus 7, 19.
Doubled.
38, yeah.
38
so 38 points of damage, not so bad.
Not bad. And he's potentially paralyzed.
Paralyzed.
So as this block of ice just falls on him, he's just knocked almost senseless. Let's see if he can break free of this being paralyzed.
So use the second reaction. He's got,
the second reaction. Wow, ooh. Not bad. A 6 on the Marvel, a 6 and a 2. So we're at 14 plus 4 is an 18. Miraculously, even though this trick went off without a hitch, you guys are maybe celebrating just a little bit too early. As it seems now that he did use his reaction to shake off that paralysis.
And he just breaks free of the ice?
Well, yeah. I mean, if it's a large sort of crumbled around him and he just sort of breaks through this snow and ice and ice shards, just sort of
tail kind of whips
around
out
the area. Yeah, sure, absolutely. The tail could just absolutely whip out
for flavor.
Don't do it.
Bobby's going to like hold up his hand, and ice sign's going to form around it. And when he sees this, his jaw's going to open, and the ice sign's just going to say, "Yikes!"
No. So as Scorpion just breaks free of the ice and throws the ice and then snow all over the place, and he sees Bobby holding up a yikes sign. Let's get Bobby on on the field here.
Okay.
Where would he be? Like in the corner
Yeah, I'd be
here?
hanging out. Yeah, back there a little bit. Yep.
Okay, and Spider-Man's hanging on the
Spider-Man's
ceiling.
on the ceiling, yeah. I guess maybe you can put
Probably
him
would
on
have
one of
noticed him as well. We're just going
pillars
to
for
put him on the
now,
pillar just for now to represent him on the ceiling. At this point in time, with the tail charging up, ready to go for a blast, let's roll for initiative.
Let's do it.
All right. Iceman got a 21, Spider-Man got a 19, and unfortunately Scorpion maybe slowed down a little bit by the chill. Got a 17, so he's going to go last in initiative order. And yeah, he kind of blasted this way, so we're just going to move that chunk of ice
We're
around.
going to go far. I'm hoping to use it again later.
Oh boy. Iceman's up first.
Let's try to freeze up a Scorpion here.
Are you going to move from your position?
No, because I'm a ranged attacker. I think I'm just going to chill out there. And we're going to go with an elemental blast just for fun, but we're going to pump up the focus. Now I'm a rank 4. That means I can pump it up. I'll bump up 20 focus to add another 10 damage to the back end.
Okay.
There we go. All right, but we get to attack with an edge.
Ooh.
I rolled a 5 on the Marvel dice. 4, that's a 9, 10, 11. 11 plus 5 is 16. What's the target number?
I believe the target number is 16, so beats it.
Good, so I'm going to use my edge to roll my Marvel. Hopefully we'll get my Marvel die, and hopefully we'll get a Marvel on the Marvel die. Marvel on the Marvel die, baby!
Oh,
yes,
come on.
We are icing this guy up.
Oh, wow. Another Marvel. Oh,
Woo! Okay. Oh, excellent. Oh, good. Oh, goody goody. Because now I get to use my legit paralyzation of the ice as it forms and crystallizes all around him as I hit him with this massive blast of ice. Just goes barreling right at the Scorpion's chest. He's got damage reduction 2.
He does it. Yes, correct.
6 times 3 is 18. 18 plus 5. 23 plus 10 because I pumped it up.
Okay.
So that makes it
So
33.
33, yes.
Yeah.
Double to
Times
6.
2.
Okay, so 66.
66 points of ice damage. And if that doesn't make matters worse, he's also paralyzed in a block of ice.
The ice blast just blasts right into him, freezing him in this spot. He's all iced up, and he looks very, 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 very hurt. In fact, he's barely moving. Well, not that he could. He's all iced up like that. So it's a paralyzed effect?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And he's used up all his reactions already, unfortunately. It's kind of crazy.
Stuck in a block of ice.
Oh my
paralyzed.
gosh. He is, that is an unfortunate round.
Based on that condition,
yeah.
Do I guess my attacks against someone who's paralyzed become a 10 for range and automatic when they're melee?
So melee is automatically hits, yes.
So I think Spider-Man is going to drop down from the ceiling.
Okay. So he's
like
gonna,
fist leading as he kind of drops down,
Right.
just kind of goes for a haymaker attack. And just kind of clocks Scorpion across the chin there.
Yeah, because the ice would have just been forming around his legs and his arms and like that. Yeah.
From the
And his tail
ground
is
up a little bit.
exposed,
His head would be kind of still exposed, so he just kind of comes down and tries to clock him across the.
All right, well,
the
automatically
jaw
hit, so just roll the dice and see what we do for damage. Are you kidding me?
Marvel on the Marvel die!
Oh my gosh.
Of course, I do feel bad for Scorpion. A little bit. A little bit. I'm worried about the rest of this fight, so let's take this guy down nice and quick and hard. Marvel on the Marvel die. So I could use knockback, because I do have Mighty. So it'd be awesome to kind of like, as I'm decking him, he gets knocked a little bit closer to the decoy statue, get him further away from his allies within the secret base back there.
How many spaces would that be with his mighty?
I don't even know if I want him knocking back the full amount of spaces he would go.
So what are you targeting him to knock him into?
I'd probably knock him into the sewer containers there, just with that cool stuff over there, yeah.
Right in here?
And maybe the weight of the ice kind of slow down as
Well, you would have smashed him right out of the ice at this point in time. But you've also smashed him into unconsciousness as well.
Oh, okay. 46.
46.
I forgot about the double. 46 points of damage going into Scorpion. Jeez, that was a big hit.
Oh. All right, he's knocked back, thrown into this barrel, smashed down and unconscious.
Okay, now he's
That
unconscious.
is one downed Scorpion, unfortunately.
Jeez.
Yeah, didn't get anything going there.
Anything going
Unfortunately,
at. I do feel bad for Scorpion, but one down,
one down,
2 more that we know of to go.
potentially.
Dude, we just took him out hard. And they're both going to do the high fives. They're like, not so loud, not so loud. And they'll go over to check to make sure he's not dead and unconscious. And Spider-Man's just going to web him up a little bit to make sure that he just stays there and doesn't kind of get back up, or if he does. And he's going to make sure the tail is kind of webbed up separately from his body. Just kind of like maybe go pull the tail out straight and web the blade of the tail over there, and then the body of him against the containers with one shot of web go over his mouth just so he can't cry out for help if he does come conscious.
Very good. As you're standing there looking into the cavernous area of the mad scientist's laboratory, you'll see the electrical arcs emanating from Lady Electro as you hush up and sort of, as you said,
It was a quiet high five.
Sure was. So with the crackles coming off of emanating from Lady Electro, there's a lot of noise, sort of emanating through the cavernous area of the laboratory. So you don't seem to recognize that anyone's sort of paid much attention to you or seen what has gone on. What you do hear is the voice that Peter Parker, Spider-Man, would recognize right away, and his spider sense tingles, and maybe just the hairs on the back of his neck just start to stand up as he hears the voice of Doctor Otto Octavius shouting out to Lady Electro, "More power, Lady Electro. I'm almost through the last layer of encryption." As he says that, he walks out of the shadows towards these consoles in the center of the room, and you see him with his back towards the area of where Spider-Man and Iceman are, and his tentacle arms start operating these two consoles and machines. As he starts, more power starts thrumming, and as it does, the area in the back of the laboratory starts to light up as this machine starts to illuminate. And in the middle of that machine, you'll see that canister, the canister holding the black inky ooze of a symbiote, securely tightened in this machine. As it starts to light up, the canister itself starts to activate, and you see these little steam vents and all that stuff sort of like spewing out from underneath it, as if it's starting to release its seal. Fortunately for you, Doc Ock is yet aware of your presence, as Scorpion didn't have a chance to alert anyone.
So seeing all this electricity being caused by Electro over there, probably dealt with Electro before. I think we've said that you dealt with Electro before.
The Max Dillon version, I think.
Oh, okay. Maybe a different Electro, yeah. Spider-Man will know that his webbing is an insulator against electricity. So what he's going to do is he's going to start like webbing up his hands in kind of like those, the boxers doing the wraps around their arms and up their forearms. He's kind of getting his feet in there as well too. And he's like, and Bobby's kind of looking, what are you doing? He's like, doesn't conduct electricity. In case I get in a fight with Electro, I want the protection here. And he's also going to say, speaking of protection, and he's going to start webbing up a little shield that he's going to put in front of his forearm, which is going to be just like this cushiony, kind of almost like pillow-looking thing.
Okay, is this the new ability from the Spider-Verse?
From the Spider-Verse expansion, you're correct, sir. There was this fun little thing called making a web shield. So a character with the web trapping power, which Spider-Man does have, can use to fashion a portable shield, which they can carry with them. This will grant them the Shield 1 power while the webbing lasts.
Does it cost focus to do this as well?
Oh yeah, it will cost me the web trapping focus power, which I believe is 10 focus. Yes, it's going to cost me 10 focus to pull that off. Iceman's going to see him kind of webbing up and putting the shield. I'm like, dude, that's a great idea. Why never think about that before? And then he kind of makes himself an ice shield as well too, but he kind of like overdoes it the first time. So this shield ends up being like a tower shield that goes from his shin to his chin. It's like, this is my shield. It's like Spider-Man's like, you can't even lift that. It's like, shut up. And then he kind of reforms the shield into something a little smaller and easier to handle. So he'll make it a circular ice shield. Very similar to Captain America's shield, but this one, instead of having a star embossed in the center, is going to have the logo of the X-Men embossed in the center.
So Iceman sort of borrowing the ability to do an ice shield.
Whatever Spider-Man can do, Iceman can do too. Or at least try to mimic it. So I'll spend another 10 focus for him as well, if you're cool with that.
Well, I've been cool with a lot of things so far, so why not?
I feel like these guys are kind of like very competitive with each other, so it seems with the power of Iceman to be able to like form these things out of ice.
I mean, it makes sense. An ice shield makes a lot more sense than a web shield. So
this is more like an impact barrier or a pillow that he's going to ring around with, where Iceman's actually got a shield. Yeah,
but he's concentrating on that, and if you try to also throw up an ice barrier as well, we may have words.
But I'm assuming like anytime this ice shield could break after you take a massive hit, right? And then he doesn't have the ice shield anymore.
We'll see what the dice say. But okay. All right, so while they're doing that, you'll also hear in the area coming from Lady Electro, and she'll shout back towards Otto, and she'll be like, you better know what you're doing, Otto. I can't spend any of your money if we get all blown up, or worse.
At this point, then, it's time to get down to business. So we want to get this canister with a symbiote in it out of their possession. So I think Spider-Man is going to get onto the ceiling, if at all possible, and start stealthily sneaking into the building and trying to make his way towards those shelves over there. within range to maybe like shoot a web line once he gets there at that canister, just so he can like pull it off his little pedestal there. And at the same time, Bobby is going to, I don't know if this is smart or not, I don't know how ice and electricity works, but he's going to make his way closer to maybe Electro.
Okay. So we got Spider-Man moving onto the wall. Sorry, onto the ceiling.
He'll jump up to the ceiling or web sling up to the ceiling, whatever he needs to do, get on the ceiling, and just kind of like web crawl along the ceiling.
Okay, so he'll be in this room?
Yeah, but trying to get into the room, try to go stealthily. And
Iceman at the same time is doing that as well?
He'll go over a little, well, not on the ceiling, but he'll kind of keep close to the corners and the shadows.
As Spider-Man and Iceman do enter into the laboratory, the console is going to start beeping, and Doc Ock is going to just glare at it and recognize that an alarm system has now been triggered.
Aww.
And as these two heroes do enter into the laboratory, which of course is Doc Ock's lair, he will have security measures in place, which you're about to learn about. So as that happens, you'll see one of Doc Ock's tentacle arms just reach out and slam into both these red buttons to activate these two mechanical arms.
Uh-oh.
With their sensors going off, they'll indicate that there is a presence crawling up on the ceiling and one sliding in through the entranceway. So both arms are going to activate. One is going to do a blast attack towards Spider-Man, and the other one is going to move towards to try to do a grab at Iceman. And Dr. Octavius is going to turn towards Spider-Man and the unwanted intruders and says, Spider-Man, I should have known. You're too late. There's nothing you can do to stop me now. And at that time, the laser is going to fire off at Spider-Man, and of course you have lots of things to try to do about that, but let's see what we get. So we got a 4, 2, and a 5. So that totals 9, 11, so 14, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, agility defense is 19 for the Spider-Man, so I guess the spider sense will be tingling as soon as like the alarm went off and everything kind of went out, and so he got very defensive and saw this thing moving towards him and shot a laser blast at him. A laser beam, and he just kind of like dodges and quickly scuttles out of the way. So as soon as the alarms would have, if there wasn't anything audible at it, or senses would have gone, if he probably would have stopped him in his tracks and kind of he would have reassessed, so he wouldn't have made it too far.
And we had this arm just sort of, it was positioned over here, but the arm is long because reach to get over towards him. So we'll just move that there. Going to make a grab.
My melee is only 11, so this will probably hit.
Well, actually, so it's 19, 11 plus 4, so 15.
Yeah, so that breaks my melee defense score.
Okay.
So with a grab,
you will be now, grabbed, but you can also use a reaction if you wish to try to break free.
Fair enough. Let me double check. I've got combat reflexes here. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I've got combat reflexes, so I've got 2 reactions. So yeah, let's try to icily slip out of the way of this guy's grab there. I don't know if this is going to work because my melee is not exactly amazing, but let's give it a shot. So yes, I'll use my reaction to try to break free of the grab of this robotic arm. No, probably not going to happen. That's a 10.
No, unfortunately, you'll remain grabbed.
Okay. So I'm grabbed by this robotic arm. Dang it. This is a bad touch. I don't like this hug. I don't give consent.
And with that, let's roll for initiative.
Okay.
At the top of the initiative round, we do have 2 characters in the bonus round. That's going to be Spider-Man followed by Doc Ock. Both rolled Marvels for the initiative roll. Spider-Man has a higher initiative, so he'll get to go first.
Okay. So Spider-Man's going to web sling a little bit closer to where Doc Ock is, maybe get onto the storage shelf right across from the consoles of Doc Ock. Yeah, right over there.
Right over there.
So he'll perch up there, and he's going to we're going to try to web trap up Doc Ock. So here's web trapping for you. It's going to cost me 10 focus.
Okay.
The character fills up to 5 spaces with their sticky webs, and the affected spaces are considered difficult terrain. Any character that starts their turn or moves into the affected space must make an agility check. If they fail, which will be a 16, but I can use reaction to pad it up to an 18, then they will become paralyzed by the webbing. So 5 spaces centered on Doc Ock is going to be covered in webs. And as he's doing so, or just before he does so, he's going to yell to Doc Ock, and he's going to say, "For such a smart guy, how come you always find yourself in such sticky situations?" And completely web up the area, 5 spaces, yeah.
Okay. So the area is just covered in webs, and if he starts his turn...
To that point, yeah, it's target number 16, but I think I'm going to also use a reaction to quickly add additional reinforcement to those webs, make it The web's just a little bit extra stickier, and the target number to break free now would be an 18.
All right, so that's Spider-Man's action and movement. So he's just trying to keep Doc Ock stuck in this.
Yeah, hopefully get him paralyzed, yeah.
So now it's his turn in the bonus round. No, it's a 16. He's going to use help, or Elektra's going to use help teammate.
Okay.
As she sees the webs get around Doc's area.
Kind of maybe shoots a little spark of
a little electricity
there,
maybe
trying to break some of these webs up.
So we have a 19.
That would do it, yeah.
Yeah, Doc Ock just breaking free of all the webbing around him on the ground there with the help of Lady Elektra shooting out an electric shock to sort of vaporize some of it. So he's broken free. He is going to use his movement to... I mean, he sees Spider-Man as a pest and as a problem. He obviously doesn't want to stand around and get webbed up.
Spider infestation.
He also wants to protect the symbiote. He's going to move a bit closer to move 3 spaces and jump with his claws. He's going to start grabbing the ceiling, just move himself out of the gunk, and just kind of get a bit closer to and protect Canister there. And seeing he's mostly out of range of Spider-Man, he is going to use his machine telepathy ability and plug into his lair there. He does see, or does know that the Bobby Drake's sort of grabbed by this machine. So what he is going to do is he's going to trigger his claw machine, and he's going to activate Crushing Grip on Iceman. So it's a melee attack against his resilience defense.
Oh, okay.
And if it's a fantastic success, it'll be double damage and he'll be pinned.
His resilience is better than his defense, his melee defense, sorry. His resilience defense is 13.
All right, yeah, so he's going to do a Crushing Grip on Bobby.
Okay.
Well, we got a Marvel.
Who earns?
A Marvel on the Marvel die and 2 4s.
I think
so. We're looking at 14 plus stuff.
Bobby's going to have to use a karma on that Marvel.
Okay.
So we're going to go down a point of karma, and hopefully a little bit of luck will go our way, and then that Marvel won't come back up again. So yeah, we're going to spend a point of karma and get you to re-roll that one.
Okay, you spend your karma to get us to re-roll that Marvel. Okay, all right.
Okay, 5. Ooh, still pretty bad.
A 5. Yeah, so it will hit. Okay, does he have any damage reduction?
Well, now that he's got his shield still, he's got damage reduction 1.
Sure.
But I might use my reaction here. We're going to do reaction to do elemental protection. So we're going to like ice up real big when the things try to squeeze into us. We're just going to and just get it like our body's just going to like kind of put on a lot of mass and a lot of weight, and we're just going to get really bulgy as this ice kind of forms around us, protects us. So anything that does more than 30 points of damage will destroy the protection, allowing excess damage to go through. It'll crush the ice shield or become part of this. So this is the only chance you'll get to use it.
So it's 5 times 5 is 25 plus 4 is 29 points of damage.
That's just enough to keep the elemental barrier intact. But the ice shield will be completely broken or subsumed by this barrier that got developed around him, and so this ice shield will no longer be effective anymore. It's kind of like a one and done.
Yeah, okay, so, geez Louise. All right, well, he's one tough ice cube. So that's that for the bonus round. So now we move into the round proper, and we're back to Spider-Man.
All right, so this is what Spider-Man's going to do. He's going to maybe go for a web line kick at Doc Ock.
Sure.
And he's just going to like shoot down 2 webs on either side of Doc Ock there and just pull it really taut and just kind of like slingshot him right towards Doc Ock, feet leading the charge. He's going to slam right into his chest.
All right. Bam. All right, so that's an attack that he's making against his... Is it a melee attack, right? Because you're web swinging into him?
You can flavor it as a ram attack, where he kind of like shoots out 2 lines of webs, just pulls his tongue, just like web slings him right into it.
Rams himself right into Doc Ock. Sure, yeah, if you want to do that.
Let's try that attack. So a melee attack against your melee defense. Only +5.
Right. It'll be double damage, but you'll also take regular damage from this attack.
Right.
That's how RAM works. So you're still okay with that?
Sure. Let's see what happens. Ooh, +5. 2, 2, and a 5. Only a 9 plus 5 is a 14. Enough to crack his melee defense?
14 is his melee defense. So
wow. Okay, we just missed it. Okay. Okay, so 5 times 5, that one's easy. 25 plus 5 is 30. 30?
Double is 60, yeah. 60 points of damage.
And then I take regular damage,
take regular damage, which is 30.
Okay. I got my shield, which is -1 damage reduction. It's my padding up there.
Sure, yeah, I know. You spent all of 5 focus for that shield.
10 focus.
Okay,
so let's see. That's what 5 times 4 is 20. So I take 25 points of damage. Bang. Spider-Man with the ram attack takes 25 points of damage, but manages to inflict 60 damage onto Doc Ock.
So yeah, Spider-Man just launches those two webs right on either side of Doc Ock. He just launches himself in a ram-type fashion attack right into Doc Ock.
Barrels right into him.
Yeah, just barrels right into him. Feet first, it seems like, and then he got his shield up as he did so.
Yeah, impact, take some of the brunt of that attack,
Cool. That then brings us to Doc Ock, if I'm doing this right. Okay, with Spider-Man right up there, face to face with Doc Ock, he's going to have both all of his tentacles just sort of swoop right in and just go with a flat out clobber.
Okay. An edge on this attack, right? Because he's got extra.
Yeah, with his limbs. Yeah, he will get for all melee and agility attacks. He will have an edge because of his extra arms there. Let's see what we can do.
Okay.
With a clobber. Yeah. 19.
Meets it, beats it. Let's see if the old Peter Luck will stick around. I'm going to spend a karma and get you to re-roll your Marvel dice there.
Oh, it's a 1, so that's no good. But I think he does still have an edge he can use. I might try to re-roll that 1 back into a 6.
Oh shoot, yeah, he doesn't use his edge yet. Yeah, I got too jumpy on that attack,
It's a 4, which means we failed the attack. I don't know if I want Electro. She still has 2 reactions. So she might be able to use her last reaction to help team to. Let's see. No. Yeah, so she just does another electrical charge, and then you'll see some electricity damp out of this thing and charge into his tentacles.
That's cool.
And his tentacles are just trying to charge up and get an extra grip on him, but unfortunately it just wasn't enough, and Spider-Man just does a flip right out of the way of those claws, just trying to dig right in. Because of the luck of the karma.
But yeah, the old Peter Luck's holding true for now.
Yeah, he's just going to stand back, just one extra spot, and just be like
guarding
over the canister as his attack, his arms move out to try to swipe the spider. Does not work. Lady Electro, finally. Yeah, so she's going to do the electric slide. She just bolts herself right over here, close enough to get blast attack right at the spider. Right now, she just sees Iceman just sort of grappled up in that.
She's a big ball of ice.
Big ball of ice right now. She's just like, ew. And then she's just not going to deal with that. She doesn't like water either, so ice and water just sort of go together. So she's just going to avoid that. But she does see Spider-Man harassing her boss. So she's going to slide right forward, and she's just going to throw a bolt right at him. And that bolt is going to be blast. All right, and she's going to pump some focus into it.
Cool.
So she'll put 15
so that half that would be 7 extra points of damage.
Oh my lord, that's almost as bad as it could possibly go. I don't even think there's anything I can do to make that into a success. So we're going to use the edge here. Doc Ock still has a good reaction. Maybe you can help her out.
Sure.
No, it just goes into a 3. Yeah, there's not even any chance of that. And so unfortunately, she pumps all of that power into that blast. But once again, this wily spider.
The spider sense of tingling and just dodges out of the way.
Yeah, so the blast just clears right through, goes through the machines, and then just gets absorbed right into this
That's cool.
large.
So like her energy attacks can just like almost bounce around this place. She's like totally connected. She can almost like absorb percent energy.
It's all metal. It's all being conducted through this area. So she just zaps and it gets beat right up through this generator.
Awesome.
But unfortunately, Spider-Man, what are you gonna do? So that's her movement, that's her action. We're gonna move to Iceman.
Yeah, he's still grabbed by this thing, which kind of stinks. Elemental prison. Try to cage everybody. What's the range on this thing? 5 spaces times their rank. So within 20 spaces. So you could put that right in between both Doc Ock and Electro, and then try to erect an ice cage around both those guys to try to trap them inside. So let's make an ego check and compare it against the result of each of their agility defenses, and let's hope we get to trap them in some ice. Let's see what happens. Yikes! I only scored a 9 plus 6 is only a 15 against their agility defense.
Doc Ock's agility defense is 13, and Electro's is 14.
Oh, so we still got them. Okay. So yes, so that an icy cage forms right around these two villains and traps them inside a prison of elemental ice.
Great.
So to break free, there'll be attacks against my ego defense of 16.
Okay. So they have to do an attack against the barriers to break free, and they have no reaction?
Unless they can teleport out or something like that, huh? Well, because it's not technically against them, it's against the spaces that they're in.
Okay.
And
So
they
they're
weren't
not-
able fast enough to get away from it as it formed
Okay.
around them.
Okay. They're iced up. Okay.
But he did not break the grab on the electronic arm, or the mechanical arm still has a grip on him, but he was able to, just focusing on all the moisture that's in there and all the humidity and the heat and any moisture, and it just, formed that ice cage around him.
Very interesting. Okay. All right. Iceman's going to do what Iceman's going to do. So they are trapped in there. So Iceman, is there anything else he can do? I think that's quite enough.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
So that brings us to the bottom of the initiative order, and that's when the layer effects are going to take place. So these two arms that are still activated, still being controlled by Doc Ock, because it is his lair. This machine then is going to target Doc Ock's barrier,
Cool.
and is going to try to shoot the barrier. So let's do that. Yeah. Going to take a shot. So we've got 13 plus 3.
Yeah, that's 16.
16.
You did it, yeah.
Okay. So this layer is going to smash into Doc Ock's barrier and smash it away.
Nice.
Yes, still holding on to him. Oh, we drop him and we go try to smash the other one. Still got his elemental, like he's still puffed up. He's still puffed
Yeah,
up.
he's still
ice
puffed
ball.
up. Yeah, you still got 30 points of bonus protection there.
So it's going to drop the ice ball that is his body, and then the arm is just going to try to free Elektra. So it's going to swing around and it's going to take a clobber attack at the ice barrier.
Cool.
Marvel. Marvel. All right.
Yeah, it's gonna.
That's definitely going to beat the ego.
For sure, yeah.
That's,
That breaks it free for sure.
Yeah, 13. Oh, so it's 19. So
Yeah.
definitely breaks
Smash
through.
it all the way, yeah, and just kind of bats in the ice. It was kind of falling towards her and clearly away, yeah.
And I'm going to say that, so as that bashes it away, it kind of just gently picks her up and moves her just in a little direction of, I don't know, just to try to honor a bit of a Marvel. It's just going to gently pick her up and just sort of place her down there.
Yeah.
That's it for round one. So at the top of round two, you do see the machine that's near Doc Ock, and the arcs of electricity just coursing through him in his metal arms, and the symbiote. And you can see inside that the canister is hissing out air, and it's about to be released. It's imminent. The ooze inside the canister is just sort of acting out. It's just sort of flashing and twisting and pushing itself against the canister glass as if it's trying to help itself get freed. It's eminently close to emerging, and we're back to Spider-Man. So
Okay.
top of round two.
So Spider-Man is going to keep the pressure on Doc Ock there. So I think he's going to go for another melee attack. He's just going to try to give him like a little spider jump and uppercut at the same time, and kind of shout out that that symbiote belongs in Mr. Stark's lab, not yours.
Mr. Stark's museum.
Mr. Stark's museum, yeah. But not this lab. Stark's lab, I guess. Probably better there than here. Yeah, so he's going to have a jump and uppercut at the same time and try to melee attack this guy.
All right.
Come on, don't let me down, dice. Getting a little cold on me. Woo-hoo! Marvel. 4-4 Marvel.
Marvel. Oh,
19.
okay, that definitely hits.
So I'm going for the knockback too.
So with that knockout blow, I mean, it's definitely going to knock.
That's enough
Doc
to
Ock.
put him unconscious?
Oh, he'll go unconscious for sure. But with that knockout blow, you'll see that the electricity and the canister just starts to, as he's flying backwards, the electricity and the electromagnetism from the machine that just sort of vamps up, just up to its pinnacle, and you see the canister start to crack and open and smash. As
it
Doc
probably
Ock,
doesn't help as I knock him back, probably accidentally into it. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Absolutely. With that Marvel, you just, I'm going to give it to you. That Marvel blasts him right into the canister, smashing through that. And as it does, you see that the ooze immediately starts to escape. But because of him being thrown into the machine, it smashes the glass instead of really kind of opening it. The machine takes a lot of feedback. So the machine starts to explode with the canister, and the ooze is soaring out of it. So with that blinding blast, even Spider-Man and Electro and Iceman just sort of shield their eyes. And as the sparks and lights start to fade down, you can see this ooze just sort of go whipping and spinning around. Parts of it, a small part of it, Peter Parker sees just sort of launches itself off and lands within a few feet of Spider-Man, Peter Parker.
Oh, like a small little...
A small portion of the symbiote just sort of lands right behind him and immediately starts crawling towards Spider-Man. But what's more pressing to him at this point in time, and everyone in the room actually, is the fact that the symbiote has now found a host as it wraps itself around Doc Ock, and the arms of Doc Ock just shoot out longer than before, blacker than before. What you'll see is Doc Ock just completely venomized with the symbiote.
Awesome. That was so cool.
Standing there right before Peter Parker. So this venomized version of Doc Ock standing on his tentacled arms, whipping around, and you see him covered in the black, in sort of taking a white signia as well. And then he covers over his face, and you see the telltale teeth and tongue. But you also see sort of like a visor that you're accustomed to seeing Doc Ock wear as well. That's sort of a white visor now on top of the black symbiote type suit that's now embedding itself through Doc Ock and through the arms as well, giving you an extra reach, extra power. We've got a venomized Doc Ock on the field.
And in the background you can hear Buffy go, don't burst out of his chest, don't burst out of his chest, don't burst out of his chest.
But speaking of that, the ooze sneaking up behind Spider-Man, looking for another host. This is a portion of the symbiote that was blown off of the main host. Is now sort of seeking and looking for a host of its own. Do you want to give me a vigilance check?
Okay, can I see him coming? I rolled a Marvel on that too.
Another Marvel!
Just in my Marvels. So that's 13 plus 16.
With the 16, with that sort of check, you just sort of hear or feel or you sense another threat behind you, and you see that the symbiote is now heading towards Peter Parker. Spider-Man now sees the symbiote heading towards him. Now, he has a choice to make at this point in time. He's familiar with symbiotes. He's bonded with them once before. He knows the power that these things can give, and if he wants to accept that power to try to help him fight against this venomized Doc Ock, he could definitely get a power boost from bonding with this symbiote. Or he could turn around and just try to web it right up.
It's interesting that you said all this extra power that he's going to get from this, and he remembers the power that he had from the suit before. Yeah. We also remember that with great power, and even more power, comes even more responsibility. And he looks at this thing, and he looks at Doc Ock, and he looks at the carnage that he could wreak and ravage throughout the city in his venomized form, and how he just lose control. And he looks down at this thing again and says, all right, come here, you little thing, and grabs it. He's like,
what? You're gonna...
And he holds it up and he says, listen, I'm in control. When it's time to go, it's time to go. But I'm gonna need your extra power. But believe you me, it means a whole lot of more responsibility too. And then he just kind of like stretches it over himself.
Oh my gosh, you going for it?
Symbiote, I want my black suit Spider-Man.
You going for it? You're going for black suit Spider-Man, okay. Symbiote up.
Symbiote action.
Symbiote style Spider-Man coming in. Okay. And with that, you allow the symbiote to take over. Well, to a degree. For right now, he does envelop him, and it's, he seems...
Fits him like an old suit. Still fits. Look at that.
Can you give me an ego check, please?
Another Marvel on the Marvel die.
Are you... Oh my God, would you stop?
Marvel 6-5.
Right,
so
okay,
12
that's
plus 5 plus that's 11.
More than enough, yes. It is still Peter Parker, Spider-Man in control of the Venom suit.
Okay.
Yes.
I got control of this thing?
Absolutely. With that kind of, with that Marvel, with that kind of role. Okay, that is your last Marvel.
Probably. I'm like...
That is insane.
How is that 3 in a row?
We got to keep a Marvel tracker.
Okay, I think so.
To see how many Marvel things have been rolled in this game. With all this going on, it's still Spidey's turn. But yeah, he's still got some movement.
I'm going to jump over that console and just get right in front of Doc Ock. Maybe just a little bit off the side, but yeah, definitely maybe just a little bit off to the side so we can see each other,
Okay.
All right, Doc. Let's do this once and for all. I'm getting that symbiote off of you, and it's going back in that canister, along with you. And Iceman's over like, are you sure, buddy? I did. Oh gosh, please don't pop out of his chest. Please don't pop out of his chest.
Oh man, he's having a rough day.
He's not enjoying this at all.
Okay. Keeping with our initiative order, Doc Ock, or I should say the Venomized Doc Ock, now takes up his challenge and takes his turn. So you'll see the tentacles and you'll see like spikes form on them. But you also see like a blade kind of shoot out of it as well. Now, with that extra reach that he has, he's just going to stand there, just sort of go up a bit taller with his hind legs, just sort of lean over, just sort of loom over the Spider-Man, and he's going to take one of those tentacles with that blade. It's called a Venom sword. I mean, he's going to do a melee attack, swinging right in at Spider-Man. Here we go. Well, we have a 6, a 1, and a 2. That 2's no good. We're going to have to do something about that. We are going to use one of our Sinister plot points that we have.
Oh, I was wondering if we were going to break these
Absolutely, with the Venomized Doc Ock.
Was I able to get here fast enough, maybe reduce the amount?
Yeah, so he is at a certain rank. It was going to start at that rank because you got here so quickly, plus the ultimate success, it reduced it down a significant number. There was a few failures which bumped it back up. So it reduced it by 2, so his Sinister point is 4.
Sinister points are 4. Okay, so he has 4 Sinister points.
So he's got 4 Sinister points. Now I'm probably just going to use 2. Seems a bit of a waste to give an edge. Actually, you know what? Before I do that, and I'm rambling on, he still has his tentacled arms, which means he has an edge on this attack.
He has an edge on this attack, yeah.
It's a 5. Yeah, so that's not bad. 12 plus... No, he's 12 plus 8, so it puts us at 20 right now. So that Venom sword is going to, I presume, hit with a 20?
Yes.
Okay.
If I got a karma to use, maybe I might get him to re-roll something.
Sure, if you still got a bit of karma, as Peter Parker. You've retained that much of a heroism. Okay, so we'll take the 6 as being the highest die.
Sure.
And we will re-roll that. We still have a few things we can do here. I think we're just going to do that. So it's a 4, 18.
Right now is a miss because my melee is a 20.
Now he's going to get an edge on this attack with one of the Sinister plot points that he has.
Okay.
It's a 6. So
that's definitely hitting.
Back into a 6. Okay. Does he have any damage reduction?
No, because his webbing shield, I guess, would have been absorbed.
So it's 5 times 8, which is 40. 48 points.
48 points of damage?
Yeah.
Yikes, that cut in deep.
It just spears right towards him, the venom blade off of the tentacle of Doc Ock, just right into Peter Parker's Spider-Man.
Tries to grab it as it like stabs into him a little bit, and then
Wow.
Well, when he takes damage like that, he has Berserk trait, being venomized like this, so he now has to make a roll under 40. What was it? 42?
48.
48. Yeah, right. So I did an ultimate fantastic here to see if I'm up. No. So I have now become Berserk.
Oh no, okay.
Berserk gives the character an edge on all close attacks and adds +2 to their melee, resilience, and ego defense. However, -2 to their agility defense, and they cannot use ranged weapons.
Yeah, with that attack now causing Symbiote Spider-Man to go a little berserk. Maybe Bobby hasn't seen this side of him before.
That rage of primal anger. So he gets stabbed into that and just yells back, and I'm like, oh no.
He does have some movement, so he's going to use the stilt steps movement to move himself and make his presence known and sort of be in range of everybody in the room right now. I guess for flavor, he's just going to sort of cock his head and grin evilly, and then takes the blade and maybe just sort of like brings it across his neck, just sort of showing how he's not here to play around. He's here to finish the job, to finally have the power to take down Spider-Man. Okay, so who's next in the order? I think it's Electro.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is she freaked out by this?
Yes, she's quite freaked out by this. Actually, and she's going to look at Spider-Man and she's going to look at Iceman, and she's like, okay, I didn't really know this was part of the job. I don't even know if I'm going to get paid now. She's just going to look at maybe Iceman and Spider-Man. Spider-Man maybe be a little bit berserk, so maybe not paying too much attention. She's just a little bit confused or maybe a little bit conflicted as to what she should do. All right, well, really, here otherwise, boss's orders. She's going to electric sort of slide over this way and take a blast at Bobby. Not really knowing how to react, just knowing that she's still on the payroll. She's going to go against the enemies and not wanting anything to do with the Venomized or symbiote Spider-Man, or for her boss for that matter. She's just going to go right at Bobby. She's going to do a blast right at him. She's going to charge it up another 15 points, and we'll throw it at him. So here we go.
Got an edge on this too?
Yep. We will have an edge on it. We're going to need it. We rolled a 6, a 4, and a 3 on the Marvel. We're going to throw the edge on the Marvel, and we're going to roll it into a 5.
Ooh, that's going to hurt.
So we are at a total of 15 plus stuff.
5 hits. His agility defense is 15. So The 15 plus stuff hits.
Damage reduction?
No,
But he still has.
does have 30 points of.
He still
ice
has
shield,
barrier.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So 24 plus 7 is 31 points of damage.
Oh, just breaks the shield.
So on a
takes
5 on the Marvel, and then
1 point of damage. Oh, that stung!
But she at least blasted off his barrier.
The barrier all breaks down, comes down around me. He gets his normal kind of icy self, his icy, slim, athletic form.
Actually, just takes the charging blast and just blasts away all this chunks of ice from him, and he's still standing there, like barely
Stings a little.
tingly. She just looks at him in disbelief, like that was like my best shot. She's looking in disbelief at Iceman as it's his turn to go.
So Iceman will be like, dude, seriously, you're attacking me when you see this villain that's gone completely venomized? He's not going to pay you. He's not going to pay anybody ever again. He's just going to totally destroy the city. You want to get out of here alive? If you ever want to see money ever again, you're going to help us take this guy down.
I do like money, and I don't like the look on Doc Ock.
He's like, Xavier's rich.
Well, in that case, give me an ego check.
All right. 6, 6, 5. 12
Wow.
plus 5 plus a lot of stuff.
Plus a lot of stuff. I'd say that sounds pretty convincing.
He's like 32.
She's. I'll say this thing about Lady Electro. Her allegiance is to the almighty dollar, and if they're offering a better job or a better gig,
Well, at least definitely inform me she's not getting paid for this one.
Yeah.
Now that he's in the venomized state.
I'd say that she'd be looking at him like, you better be good for it. But all right, what do you have in mind?
Well, it's pretty simple. Take him down! And he's gonna focus another elemental blast at Doc Ock here. I don't have much focus left, so I think I'm just gonna leave it as a basic 5 points of focus here. Yeah, but at least we'll have an edge on this attack.
Okay. And as you do that, though, you're going to see one of his tentacles swing around. He's going to use a reaction called Return Fire. So if he's being shot at, one of the tentacles is just going to act on its own. It's just going to shoot out another venom blast. Well, it's called Return Fire. It's a 5 focus attack. An enemy declares an attack against the attacker.
I am.
Reaction, 5 focus. The character makes an agility attack against the target's vigilance defense.
Okay.
If the attack is successful, apply health damage as normal and then take focus damage.
Oh, okay, so this is against his focus.
It's gonna be-
Yeesh.
It's going to be health damage, but you take it as focus.
Okay.
So yeah, one of his just venomized tentacles just goes and does another blast right towards Bobby as he aims his shot. Not great, but he does get that edge because
Why
of
is it
tentacle
edge?
arms.
Oh, okay.
With that attack, we are at a 15 plus. Sorry, it's an agility attack. 15 plus 5 is 20.
That definitely breaks my vigilance, yeah.
Okay, so we're at 48 plus 5 is 53 points of now focus
damage. Yeah. Okay. Because I just spent 5 to do a blast attack at him. So that brought it down by
Yeah.
5. And now this is gonna hit. So this is gonna bring it down another, how much did you say?
53.
53? Yeah, he's not shattered, he's just demoralized. That just means you can't spend any more focus
Right.
on
So
attacks. Like, I don't know if you'll count the one I just spent 5 focus on. Like, this happened because you have targeted your attack, but it happens before my attack?
yeah. So you got targeted. So before you used it, yeah. So I'll gift back that 5 if that helps.
Yeah. Which just means he can't do that attack anymore. He needs to have to switch to a basic non-focusy attack.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so that would change his attack, but now all his attacks actually will have trouble on it. So this basic blast attack, this elemental blast attack, will have trouble against Doc Ock. 4, 4, and a 3. I'll have to reroll this 4 into a 6, so that stays at 4. Let's see here. So that is an 8 plus 3, that's an 11, plus 5, so that is 16.
Unfortunately, no 16 won't hit.
What do I need to hit him?
18.
Gotta help teammates.
You could, yep.
So you see this weakened ice blast coming from Bobby as he just kind of slumps his shoulders a little bit and he's kind of losing his energy and just kind of like the ice attack barely even like leaves his hand.
Yeah.
And it's heading towards Doc Ock after he got off that shot and hit Bobby right in the chest with the attack. So I think maybe Spider-Man will kind of just like shoot out a bunch of webs in front of the other tentacle arms that might be trying to block this ice attack and try to like deflect the arms away from his ice attack that's coming in at him.
It's a help teammate with Spider-Man?
It's a help teammate, yeah. Just a reaction on that. Oop. 5. Was that enough? 9 plus 4 is 13. Plus 5 is 18.
18. That's it.
It is?
Meets it, beats it.
Whew. Okay, that
Yep.
like just gets through then. Not that he's going to do much damage here. But yeah, so a 4 on the Marvel die. 4 times 5 is 20.
Okay, hold on. So he
plus-
does have damage reduction too.
Oh, so 3 times 4 is 12, if I'm doing math correctly. So 12 plus 5 is 17. So 17 points of health damage. We'll go through. So I managed to convince her, at least I got Electro on our side, and my attack just barely went through the help of a symbiote Spider-Man there, deflecting away his tentacles, arms, and letting that ice attack just get through.
Okay, and that brings us to the bottom of the round. Doc Ock still has control over those mechanical arms as the layer effects. And so the laser beam is probably just gonna probably still angry at symbiote Spider-Man. So we're gonna take a venomous blast, just a regular old attack. Oh gosh, that's terrible.
This is agility, right?
Agility,
so
yeah,
it's,
yeah.
18.
18. So it's 15. So no, that misses.
Okay.
So the beam just goes wide, it hits this panel, and just blows it up. Cool. Blasts that panel.
He doesn't even flinch. He just watches the shot go by and just looks at it like, not worth my time.
And this arm is just, because it's through proximity, it's still going after Spider-Man. Why not? He can't be that lucky that many times. So here we go. The arm is still targeting Spider-Man because he's angry at no.
So the arm comes in and Spider-Man just puts up a hand and just kind of like gets it and then just shoves it back. It's like
Awesome.
barely even flinching at this thing.
Doesn't even come close. Okay, back to the top of the round. We have the symbiote Spider-Man.
All
What's he
right,
gonna do?
he's angry.
Well,
he's going to shoot.
He is angry because he's berserk, but he's
Right.
also got his symbiote attacking his psyche. So why don't you give me an ego check and see how well we do?
11.
11. So you just barely be able to remain in control, but you're fighting real hard to do that. But you're still berserk and you're still pretty angry.
Yeah, my target is Doc Ock, and that's my only target. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot 2 webs to either side of Doc Ock, just right in front of him a little bit. And I'm going to pull back on the webs again, similar to what I did my initial attack. And I'm going to just cannonball myself, slingshot style, right into Venom.
Okay.
Venom feet leading the charge here. I'm just going to try to do my, if you let me do my ram attack again.
It's up to you.
I've got 1 reaction left. I'll use my reaction for that, and both movement and both attack actions.
Yeah, if you want to call that a ram attack.
You just attack. I was hoping to do combat tricky, but I don't have the reaction for it right now, so I use help teammate. But that is what it is, so come on. And I got an edge on this attack because I am berserk. Might need it. I got a 6 on the Marvel die.
Nice.
But a 3 combined on the other one, so it's a 9 plus 6 is 15. But I have an edge, so I get to roll one of these guys. I was just trying to think what I should reroll. So I'm missing an attack right now, right?
Right now, yes, because you need 18 to hit. He did get hit by Bobby. Technically, I need to roll to see if he can stay not berserk.
Oh, that's true. Yes, because you did physical damage from that. Yeah.
So
So
let me
you'd have
just
to do
check
a
this.
14. Yeah, you
Go
could.
with the Marvel? Oh, yeah, no. He maintains all his faculties.
Sure. Yeah, okay, so let's re-roll this one. Yeah, then a 4 plus, and that was the 2, I just knocked it. So 6 plus 6 is 12, plus another 6 is 18.
18. Meets it, beats it.
Okay.
That's all you
we
needed.
get through. Okay, well, 6 on the Marvel die here, but it's minus 2 for his damage reduction?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so my melee is times 7, so it goes down to a 5 only. 5 times 6 is 30.
30.
30 plus 6 is 36.
36.
Times 2.
That's right. It's doubled. Yeah.
Yeah, 36 times 2 is 72.
72 points of
72
damage.
points. Yeah.
Wow.
72 points of damage. He just collides feet first, going right into Doc Ock's.
Wow. You will also take regular
Yes,
damage
I
for
will
that. Do you have
take
any damage
regular
reduction?
Ooh, no, I don't.
Okay, so that was 32 points of damage.
So I'll take 32 points of damage, right?
Okay. So again, back to the berserk situation.
Once.
I mean, how do I beat a 62?
Ultimate Fantastic?
Yeah, not even close. Yeah, that hit. Wow, knocked him back, staggered him back. He was not happy, and he's now a berserk, raging, venomized Doc Ock. So,
And as he crashes into him, and he clears some of the cobwebs out of his head, and he starts shouting something like as he's kind of like close and trying to like knock these tentacles and robotic arms away. And he kind of shouts to Bobby in the lecture, and he's just like, "Oh, I got a moment of clarity. Symbiotes like this are weak to fire and sonic attacks. It's gonna hurt me too, but trust me, if you want to take this guy down, you gotta hit it with something loud. Because Bobby, you're the wrong element for this." I should have called Johnny Storm. Electro, Bobby, we need, if you just combine your powers, create a lot of high pressure and low pressure by using a cold attack and a superheated attack, you can cause like a sonic thunder crack. And I'm sure It's gonna do crazy amount of damage to this guy. Now, if you excuse me, I'm going back to berserk mode. Rah!
Okay.
Sorry.
I mean, fair.
And I did that all in 5 seconds.
Okay. Jeez. Fine. Okay, that's cool. I love it. Rule of cool. Rule of cool. We'll roll it in. So it will then turn to the berserk Doc Ock, and he's got no other option but to attack right back
Attack me.
at the symbiote Spidey.
Yeah.
So he's going to take just all his tentacles, and he's just going to go right back at Spider-Man. Let's just turn this into a good old-fashioned smash. Now, but Smash does give him an edge, but he also has an edge because of the tentacle arms. Does that mean he would have? I mean,
And because he's berserk, he's got 3 edges.
oh my gosh! Wow,
You created this monster.
I did. Let's go. Okay, well, I'm going to need them. I rolled a 3, 3, and a 1. So
Good, keep rolling low.
let's start with the Marvel. We'll re-roll that one into a 6. Okay, we're going to
That's
re-roll
weird
this
right now.
1
Sure.
as my second edge to a 4, and
too
we'll
high.
take this 3 as the lowest die. We're going to roll that into a 4. Okay, so 14
That's
plus
gonna hit.
8. Fortunately, yeah, that's 22 to hit.
Yeah.
So we'll do that smash attack. Damage reduction?
Nope.
Oh gosh, it's 6 times 8. 48?
48, yeah.
Plus another 8 is a 56.
Woo, we're close. We're almost down.
But with those flailing arms, all 4 of them just going right in at the symbiote Spider-Man, trying to
Block.
rip, just
getting
rip
hit
that
after hit,
symbiote.
just keeps punching the face.
All 4 of them just barreling in on him. Again,
Yeah,
just
man,
trying to-
he's hurting. He's barely staying conscious, but he's still in the fight. He's Spider-Man. He's Peter Parker. He's
Yeah.
not going down. Great power, great responsibility, and he's responsible for this mess. He brought this symbiote into this planet.
Yeah, and with that, seeing that he's almost got Spider-Man for the first time, the part of Doc Ock that's just like, I'm winning. I'm actually winning. Just going berserk with the Venom feeding him. He's going to use his last 2 Sinister plot points to feed into that energy, and he's going to burn it into use an extra action. So he's going to take another action. You're going to see one of the tentacle blades go right up, turn into a sword,
Ugh,
a
jeez.
biometric
Just
blade,
like Sharpie.
and just dive right down into him. So tentacled arms and
Berserk.
berserk.
Edges, yeah. Gotta beat a
Oh
maybe.
gosh. Okay, we rolled a 1, 2, and a 2. Once again,
You got
rolled
2
like
edges.
garbage. Okay, so we'll take the Marvel.
Yep.
That's
3?
no good. 3. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. We're going to take the Marvel and hope for
36.
something. So my last edge.
Yeah.
This doesn't work.
2. So
No,
3.
completely. Unfortunately, yeah, wow, what a waste of Sinister plot points. Anyways,
But as it comes down,
but with that
it's
blade,
just-
yeah, it just slices right past him, but buries itself right into the ground.
Peter thinks it hits him. It looks like, whew, managed to just get out of the way. The attack just missed.
Fortunately, with all the edges in the world, still couldn't do it. He did burn his Sinister plot points to do that. Unfortunately, it was a fluff. Anyway,
So, if they're going to heed Spider-Man's words there and try to do like a
well,
thunderclap attack where they can combine their 2 icy hot powers
yeah,
here?
let's. Well, what is? I mean, if Iceman's got anything left in him,
He has no focus to spend on this, but if he could just get away with like just a basic icy attack, just kind of freeze the area and just kind of cool it down.
Lady Electro, hearing Spider-Man advice as to how to try to take down this monster that she's seeing, that's really just tentacles flying. She's seen some stuff, and she kind of knows where to hedge her bets. And she looks over at Bobby and she says, "I'm game if you're game, but it's going to cost you." And she's going to generate this big electric ball, and she's going to generate another electric blast to really heat things up. And she's going to say, "I'm ready when you are ready. Are you ready for this?"
Oh, she's going to hold her action?
She's going to hold her
Nice.
action
Okay.
for Bobby, and they're
Awesome.
going to combine their attacks, hopefully.
Yeah.
And maybe we can create that thunder wave that Science Boy,
Let's do it,
that
yeah.
Science Boy thinks is going to happen.
So yeah, he's going to put his energy. He's going to create whatever he can, take everything he's got left in him, and it's not because he's negative in focus here, and he's just going to shoot a basic elemental burst attack just in the air and just kind of burst around the area, which is like some snow starts falling, just totally chill the whole area.
Nice.
It's not really going to do much damage. It's just going to really just cool
Okay.
the area around Doc Ock there.
Okay, so she's going to hold her action to make that blast. So now, is that what he's doing for his action? then?
Yeah, he's just kind of like chilling the area around. I mean, if you still want me to roll with
we're
roll
gonna
dice, but I have to roll with trouble because any action check I make is with
Okay.
trouble.
Yeah, let's see how this goes. We're both
Okay.
going to roll our attacks. Yeah.
Okay. Reroll.
Oh.
6. Bobby only got
Yep.
A 9 plus his agility, a 9 plus 5 is only a 14.
His agility attack is now a 16 because of his berserk.
Okay, let's spend a karma to reroll this dice here. Oh, rerolled it back into a 2, so I still only got a 9. I still only got a 14. You think she can kind of like do a help teammate reaction? If we're still aiming for a...
Yeah, I mean, they've decided to
it?
team up, so she's got a couple reactions, so we can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, for a strange team-up situation.
Rolled just 6 this time, so yeah, that gets over 16. So we both hit 16, or we're both over 16, so we can both kind of swirl our powers together.
So, yeah, as they charge up both of their attacks combined, your powers combined, as you said, Iceman just lowers the temperature, and a Lady Electro just heats it right up, and they just create this huge thunderclap, lightning and thunder.
Just plowing their elemental attacks into Doc Ock.
Both elemental attacks go right into Doc Ock. Right. Lady Electro rolled a 5 on the Marvel, but it's reduced by 2, so it's 21 points of damage. If you doing that right?
Yeah. Bobby's attack would have been 5 minus 2. That's 3. 3 times 3, only 3 on the Marvel time. 14 points of damage.
Okay. Hey, every bit helps. All right, and because of the thunderclap that we just did, the symbiote being weak to sonic attacks.
Yes.
It's going to cause an anathema. Anathema.
Anathema. Yeah,
yes.
Something like that. Yeah.
An anathema damage. So what that is basically, it's he's going to take a rank 3 attack on a Marvel die. So to honor the combined attack, we're both going to roll for this, and we'll take which one is higher. Now, keep in mind, Symbiote Spider-Man was in this blast range too. So whatever we roll is going to be applied to.
All right. And there's no damage reduction against.
No damage reduction. Yeah, just a straight up roll. So you and I both roll 6.
Marvel.
A Marvel.
Roll the Marvel.
Okay. Once again, you roll a Marvel.
I don't know if I want a Marvel this time.
Wow, what's going to happen? I don't know if it actually. I'm reading the rule right now. It doesn't say anything about a Marvel, but I mean,
it'd be still double damage.
It's usually double damage. Yeah, it's a rank 3 attack roll, so it would be double damage.
So 18 times 2 is 36.
Yes, 36. So 36
points of damage to go through.
Points of damage. Yes.
Is that enough to take out Doc Ock?
Oh, very close.
Because it was definitely enough to take out Peter.
Oh no. Yeah, I mean, it was an incredible thunderclap. We're working together, but as Peter knew the risks while taking his Goku stance behind him.
Kind of gets behind him and just kind of
unfortunately, with that, it is going to be enough to disrupt both of their symbiotes so that it just sort of starts tearing away from them. At this point in time, though, if it's enough to knock Peter unconscious, Spider-Man unconscious,
it would be.
I think at this point the symbiote would have released from him. We'll have Peter sort of hit the ground unvenomized as his regular self.
Okay. Goes down unconscious, yeah.
Yeah, but that symbiote is free, and the remaining symbiote, the one that's attached to Doc Ock, is going to try to assimilate it. But we're going to swap out Peter, because that is sort of separated from himself, but unfortunately, with that great advice, that did quite a bit of damage, but was enough to also knock down Peter with his noble sacrifice.
Okay.
With still, as he comes back to control, the parts of the symbiote now starts to try to crawl back and reform around him as his turn is over, but it's a bit slower. It's not fully formed around him right now.
Okay, he's recovering a little bit.
He's recovering, yeah. So
from the sound.
I would say so, yeah. But that does bring us to the bottom of the round. Unless there's something Bobby wants to do, he's still got some movement.
I mean, if he's got movement, he's going to probably just ice glide over to Spider-Man and check on him and like, no, and try to pick him up and try to grab him or help him out. Maybe just to the side of him.
Just to the side of him. Okay.
Yeah, and turn him around. Yes, that's perfect.
But unfortunately, as he does move there, at the end of the round, we do have the layer actions. Doc Ock is still conscious, and so he's still got his layer actions. I mean, this guy's not nothing. So we've got a laser attack that's going to actually, he saw that Lady Electro turned on him, so he's pretty ticked off about that betrayal. So he's going to send the laser cannon directly at her. So it's going to take the laser attack right at Lady Electro. Which is 14. Beats it. Yeah, so she gets hit. She will take 23 points of damage.
Ouch!
Yeah, she wasn't expecting it. She's, so actually, since the beginning, she actually did have one of her elemental barriers up. as she was charging up these routines. Hence, when you saw that the electrical sparks and electrical energy all around her as she was charging up the electrodes. So that's actually going to reduce 10 of that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
But the barrier is now down.
Gotcha.
And then the next one is just going to do another grab. Well, not a grab, but like a punch attack.
At Iceman. Okay.
At Iceman. Yeah.
Well, I had to beat 11, so you did it.
Well, it doesn't look great. What do we have right now? We've got 9 plus 4, so that's 13?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be there.
Does he have any damage reduction or reaction?
No, no reaction that we can use. I'm out of focus, so I can't
that's
do
right.
anything.
Yeah. 6 times is 36, so 40 points of damage.
Ouch. That clocked him. So distracted by Peter, he doesn't even see it coming, just gets hit by this.
This huge arm just almost very similar to Doc's tentacle, just comes and just punches him.
He's hurt, but he's still up.
Okay. So that brings us to the top of the order. So Spider-Man, now he can use Karma to try to pick himself back up.
He can use Karma to do a health recovery check. So the target here is only a 10. Yeah, we beat 10. But I only rolled a 3 on the Marvel die. So I want to spend a Karma. I spend a Karma to do the action check, but because of bad Karma with my weird science origin, I can actually spend multiple Karma on a single action check. So it's similar. The Karma check is to make the check, and then I want to spend a Karma to actually try to increase this 3 to something higher.
So you're spending 2 Karma?
Yeah. So I'll spend 2 Karma on this. So it'll put me actually down to 0 Karma.
Wow. Okay.
At the end of this.
All right, and so you're trying to do better than 3?
So let's do better than 3. 4. All right.
Technically better than 3.
It's a resilience check, and then the number.
Yes, 4 times your rank. Yes, that's right.
So 4 times 4 is 12. 12. Yeah. Not quite enough. He's still unconscious. He moans a little bit. He's feeling like almost comes out of the eyes, flutters like a little bit. And falls unconscious again for just a few seconds. Like, come on, man! What about all this greater responsibility? Something. Come on, man! Dig deep. Use your power. Based on what Bobby just said there, and I can still spend multiple Karma. I go into the negatives now. So now I'm in -1 Karma. If I spend another Karma to try to increase my roll.
How many can you spend? As many as you want?
Spends multiple on the same roll. Yeah.
Wow, that's weird.
If you're cool with that, so I could try to increase it to a 5 or 6.
One shot,
just one more shot.
Negative Karma.
Going to negative Karma,
which
Karma.
gives you
bad Karma.
Bad Karma. Yeah. So bad effects could happen.
It could happen, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
5. So 5 times 4 is 20.
Yeah.
So that would actually put me at 3
health.
Yeah. So hearing Bobby's words, like, dig deep, use your power. And he kind of flashes back to when he saw Uncle Ben down the street. And the times that Uncle Ben actually told him so many times, with great power comes great responsibility. And he just sees Uncle Ben there lying, gunned down by the one man he didn't stop. He's like, I'm not stopping here. I can't stop here. I have to get up. And his eyes pop back open again, and they're bloodshot and they're red. And she's like, ugh! And he just rolls over, ugh! And he just starts climbing back to his feet, and he's just rocking and he's weary, but he's back up.
He is back up. Yes.
Like,
I mean, he just spent everything he could spend, but yeah, he's up.
He's on his feet, with 3 health. Now, that was an action check, so that would be his action, unfortunately. And he just uses, one bit of movement to stand back on his feet, and he's just going to, the rest of his movie, he's just going to stand right in front of Ock and just stare him down and says, you're not leaving here with that symbiote.
Wow.
So he's going to use the rest of his movement just to get right in front of Doc.
You want to put him right in front
of his face, yeah.
Okay. With the rest of his movement just staggering in front of him.
Yeah. Just going to stagger steps right in front of him, man.
Okay. Gosh, now what do we do? Because we do go to Doc Ock's turn.
Mm-hmm.
But seeing that Spider-Man is still standing in front of him.
And is he still berserk? He didn't lose it. I guess the symbiote didn't leave his body, right? So he's only got one target.
Well, he could still dodge it, right? I mean, he's hard to hit. Seeing his enemy, the thorn in his side for so many years, now with this power and the Venom suit just now finally just finishes encompassing his face once again, and you see that evil sneer. And raising behind him are these 2 more these tentacles, and they just blades come out again, and both of them are just going to go. It's berserk. He's still berserk.
That's why he's in front of him. It's like he wants me to hit. He's got to get Bobby up on his feet.
Okay, we rolled a 6 on the Marvel, a 4 and a 1. So right now we're at 11, but we add 8 to the attack. That's 19.
Yeah.
Just makes it because of the tentacle arms.
Yeah, he's got 2 edges.
Yeah, 2 edges. Well, if it already hits.
Just fish for that marble. Okay.
Thank goodness. But this time, the arms will just grab Peter and just sort of pick him up, and then Bobby can watch in horror as one of the blades just goes right into his side. And then he just drops the limp form of Spider-Man.
That's a lot. I'm not coming back from that.
I don't understand why he did that, but I didn't want to.
No, but he didn't want Barbie to get hit. If he just thought this power was supposed to, if anyone's going to go down, it's going to have to be
but he still has movement, and he's going to stand.
I could spend more karma to try to make you re-roll some of that. Can you spend a karma to make you re-roll at 6?
Peter?
He's at -1. He can go down to -4.
So he's got 3 more negative karmas to use? That's crazy. Yeah, after I rolled my edges, didn't improve my roll, it's still a 19.
So yeah, it still picks him up, and he's about ready to stab at him.
Okay, all right, okay. Then he wants to use a karma?
time. Yeah, I gotta do something. I gotta use my karma.
Okay, I love it. All right, okay. So let's do this.
Roll that 6 into something less then. Okay, spend it. That's at -1, going down -2.
No.
Spend another one, going down to -3. Spend it.
Oh my God, is this legal? A 5. That reduces it to 18. Needed to knock it down 1. Yes.
Oh, that's all I needed to do?
Yes.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Oh my God. All right, this is crazy, but this is absolutely crazy. But he's used almost all of his weird karma.
Yeah, well, that would only be like -3.
He's now sitting at -3 weird karma. But whatever you want to call it, it was enough. It was enough to shift out of the way. So yeah, as Doc Ock just wraps his tentacles around him, just grinning to finally get that blow, that finishing blow against Spider-Man. Just looked like he was down and out, and just out of nowhere, just grabbed it.
Grabs that blade just before it hits, just before it stabs into him. It just
forces it
back.
Yeah. And you could see the look on Doc Ock's face from a grin to a disbelief.
No, that's impossible.
I believe the word you're looking for is spectacular. God, yeah, he's just gonna stare at him with hate and malice in his eyes. No, why won't you just die?
Because he's the Spider-Man, you punk. We're taking you down. All right,
yeah,
that was his attack. I guess
that's his attack. He could move, but right now there's just no better place for him to be other than just staring him down.
Awesome.
Lady Elektra is up next.
Thunder attack again, or she just wanted to
now that
she got shot.
Peter probably won't be affected by it.
Yeah.
And she'll look at Iceman and she'll be like, one more time, would you better Venmo me?
Professor X is good for it. Let's go.
And she's still nursing that burn wound on her shoulder that she took from the blast, and just seeing what's going on there. She'll just once again charge up and hold her action.
Let's do it. Bobby's going to get him doing it. He's going to do his basic elemental attack. That's all he's got left. He's got to be, unfortunately.
Okay. Let's roll it.
Oh no! I
rolled Marvel!
Good, you got a Marvel? I did too, but I got to reroll because I got trouble. Do a 5. Okay, that's still going to hit.
All right. Once again, the temperature is going to just decrease right around the area. You're going to see the smile on Peter's face.
Just start chuckling a little bit. Yeah. Like, he plugs his ears.
And as that happens, both of them staying on either side just blast into them with their elements. And once again, you see this electric blast followed by this thunderous cacophony, just reverberating through the room and causing such a thunderclap that once again the symbiote suit just starts peeling right off of Doc Ock once again, and you see Doc Ock's face just as it peels right from that blast that they took. It's now more than enough to knock Doc Ock unconscious, and down, with the symbiote suit just crawling around looking for another host.
This is what I was going to say, like, we want to try to contain this thing, so now Peter's still conscious, but exhausted, and he's... Iceman sees this as well, too. But can they try to form, like, an ice capsule and a web capsule at the same time to try to, like, capture this thing inside? Or capture this thing and contain it?
Yeah, so let's flavor it like this. So once the reverberations of the thunderclap, which doesn't last very long, it was just long enough to separate it completely from Doc Ock. Okay. As it starts oozing around looking for its next host,
shivering and quivering away,
it starts leaping towards Bobby. this time.
Spider-Man's reaction
I'm
to
gonna
catch it with
use
his webs.
both of them can use their reactions if they still have it.
Yeah,
just
he's got a reaction left, and he doesn't have any focus he can spend, but he can just start freezing the area a little bit with what he can as a reaction. Well, and Spidey can just shoot out webs around as well too.
Yeah, and as he's doing that, he's just trying to. You can see the ooze just trying to sneak around and squeeze through the webbing. But Bobby with his reaction, just shoots out a gust of frost as he just moves himself out of the way and starts freezing the thing in place, creating an ice ball. Let's say, right around the ooze, and with Spider-Man webbing it up
as well too. It's just kind of like really kind of contains this thing and gets ties up with webbing and ice at the same time.
Yeah, and the ice is actually just like the fire. It has an adverse effect to fire. It's extreme temperature. It's an extreme element. Same with sound. Ice, in this instance, seems to be having the similar effect of slowing it down. It certainly doesn't.
It's giving a little bit of freezer burn.
Lovely. So yeah, with that, icing up the symbiote and webbing it up as well, both of them teaming up together to contain the symbiote once as it crystallizes.
Hits the ground, I think Peter's just going to grab it and inspect it and make sure it's not, the ice capsule hasn't cracked or broken into, maybe just web up with even a little more.
Wonderful.
And be like, okay, we got to get this back to Tony Stark as quickly as we can. I don't know how long this is going to hold. And Iceman's like, dude, are you okay? Like, are you all right? Like, seriously, you've been banged up big time. Peter's like, I'm okay. I know what I'm doing. Great power, great responsibility. You know how it is. Come on. First things first. Let's get this back to Tony. You need to call him?
Funny that you see to mention that, because at that time, that beeper that Spider-Man has on him starts going off. Zzz, zzz, zzz. You hear the voice of Tony Stark as Peter sort of reaches for it and activates it. You're too far below ground for clear signal, but you can get the audio. And it's Tony, his voice comes over, says, "Hey, Queens, just checking in. How's my favorite arachnid doing against Dr. Grabby Arms?"
Still surviving, dodging, living to fight another day. I think we got Doc Ock down for the count, and I've got a capsule full of symbiote. Where are you? Can we get this to you as quickly as possible? Can you meet us? Do you have a container that we can properly store this thing back in?
Great work, kid. Yeah, if you're looking for containment, you're talking to the right guy. We've got a team heading towards your location right now.
We'll meet them halfway. And we start running and sliding, web slinging, and
okay. Is Doc Ock? Sorry, just to recap.
Before we go, we'll shoot a few webs in and try to secure him and tie him up as well too. I hope I'm not running out of web fluid, but yeah, we're gonna just try web him to the ground and kind of web him up. But Electro, of course, we're going to turn a blind eye to Electro and be
Lady Electro is just going to be looking at those guys, the heroes, just webbing them up, and she knows when to leave a party. And she hears that the cavalry's coming, and she, as she's about to electric slide right out of the place, she looks over one more time at Bobby, and she's just like,
"We're good for it."
Yeah.
She just points at him.
I'll be in contact.
Yeah.
Just as quickly as electricity can flow, she's just out of here.
Okay.
Amazing.
Well, we're going to follow her with as quickly as webs can flow out of the web shooter. We're going to get out of here. And Bobby's going to ice slide behind him. And we're going to try to meet Tony and his team either halfway, or we're just going to get above ground, maybe pop open a sewer, a manhole cover, climb out of the sewer, and hopefully maybe Tony's team will be meeting us topside.
Yep. Well, he's nothing if not on time and punctual.
Take this. Keep it secure this time, please. And then just kind of sits down on the ground.
Hey.
And Bobby's like, put some ice on that. That looks painful. And just kind of like ice packs up his shoulders and his head, and just like, thanks, Bobby, appreciate that.
Yeah, exactly.
My camera. What camera? And he checks and it's just broken and falls apart in his hands. You were taking pictures?
And that's the Spidey luck. So, Tony Stark definitely takes it away from him. He gives it to his people. He's got a secure location for that, for sure. A lot more secure than the Stark Labs this time. They've got Doc Ock already wrapped up as well. Fantastic. So with that, we've successfully completed this campaign, and we hope you enjoyed it. This has been fantastic. We absolutely enjoyed doing this content for you, and if you enjoy it as well, it means a lot to us if you give us a like. Consider subscribing, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one. Until then, keep rolling.
and unlocking the power of the multiverse.